Today, a champion of the Codfish Bowl will be crowned. It's the UMass Boston Beacons, fresh off a 3-1 win over Wesleyan in the opening round, taking on the Endicott College Gulls, who slipped by Stevenson by an identical margin. Looking for their second title in this tournament's 11 years, it's UMass and Endicott, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on this special Sunday edition of Women's Hockey on the BBN. Along with Seth Orensky, I am John Skudris, and today we will crown a Codfish Bowl champion. For UMass, the road to this championship went through Wesleyan. In the 3-1 victory, Lindsey Berman's club was led by some familiar faces, as Rachel Peacock got the scoring started with a one-time goal in the first period. For the Beacons winger, it's her fourth goal in the last 5 games. Similarly hot, right winger Katie Barry got the Beacons some breathing room just 1:17 later, when her net mouth presence led to a 2-0 lead on her third goal of an already outstanding 2017 season. Goalie Rachel Mayette stood tall between the pipes, denying 21 Cardinals shots en route to the third Codfish Bowl opening round win of her career and her first victory of 2017-18. And as I turn to my partner in crime, Seth Orensky, Seth, the seniors on this roster, they've never tasted Codfish Bowl title, and so today is absolutely critical for them to perhaps build some momentum for the rest of the season.
You look at UMass Boston this year, in such a slow start. They lost their first 2. They were badly outplayed in their opener, and then a difficult loss against number 1 Norwich. This team is riding a 6-game unbeaten streak. They've been playing some of their best hockey, and this is going to be a really fun test. They play an Endicott team who the numbers are gaudy, 7-0-1. They're outscoring their opponents by a large margin, but this will be the best team Endicott's seen this year, and Endicott will be one of the better teams UMass Boston has seen, especially during this current 6-game stretch. For this Beacons group, the seniors especially said coming in, this was one of their goals this year. This is a team that's been to the NCAA tournament, won a conference championship, but they want to add this to their resume, and it's going to be a tough one because you're looking at an Endicott team that's very disciplined, very good on special teams, could come down to UMass Boston avoiding the penalty box and winning the 5-on-5 play.
Rachel Mayette got her first victory yesterday. She had played well all season long, but just snake-bitten a little bit. That has to help her confidence.
Well, Rachel's always been really good in this Codfish Bowl, especially the first-round game. She's never won one, but she's 3-0 in first-round games, and Maya had played better than her record. She took a couple of tough losses in which she was making 45, 50 saves. She's a senior. She knew that eventually things would fall her way. Looked very good yesterday against the Wesleyan team that did create some chances, and today it's going to be a similar thing. Endicott's going to get their chances. UMass Boston presumably will as well. It's just which team can convert and which player can maybe come up with that key goal or a key shot block in front of their goal. You might not see a shot.
On the other side of the ice rests the Endicott College Gulls, who downed Stevenson 3-1 on Saturday to earn a berth in this championship contest. The scoring started out just like UMass's did, as Carolina Hughes and Michaela McNamara each tallied first to give the Gulls a 2-0 lead. The game was put on ice in the third by Jillian Gibbs, who took the feed from Jade Meyer and buried the insurance goal to give Endicott the 2-goal victory. Goalie Vendela Janssen stopped 34 of 35 Stevenson shots to improve her sparkling record to 5-0-1 and keep Endicott undefeated in 2017. And Seth, I turn back over to you. What do we expect to see from a team with such a gaudy record today?
Well, it starts with Vendela Janssen. She has been phenomenal throughout her career, but especially this season, a .99 goals against average, .951 save percentage. It all starts from the back with this team. They have some balanced scoring. They don't have a player with more than 6 goals. That's Lexi Klein, but they have quite a few players between 3 and 6. So you're not going to look for one player offensively. I will say that I was surprised. Stevenson had a lot more chances yesterday, especially in the third when they badly outshot the goals. So this Endicott team, I can't stress it enough, and it's not meant to take anything away from them, but playing a soft schedule to start the season, which they have, it's going to be interesting to see if they can skate with UMass Boston today, who's only playing with 5 defensemen. That'll be something to watch for the Beacons, especially as this game goes along.
Certainly will. One way or the other, this one promises to be an instant classic. The Beacons looking for their first Codfish Bowl title since 2014 as they take on the Gulls this afternoon. It's the Beacons against the Endicott College Gulls right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. And as we take a look at the team statistics heading into play today, both of these teams still in their first 10 games of the campaign. But Seth, what sticks out to you there? You look at the discrepancy between goals for and goals against for Endicott, and it really looks good for them.
Well, it all starts with those special teams. I mean, you look at that, a 100% penalty kill is great. A 25.7 power play is pretty good as well. 9 of 35 on the power play, 22 for 22 on the penalty kill, and just 6 penalty minutes. That's where it's going to be crucial for the Beacons to stay out of the box. For UMass Boston, the biggest thing that jumps out to me, because I keep doing the stats every game, is the Beacons went from a goal differential that was about -3 to being plus +0.5. This team has steadily worked harder. They've got back-to-back wins. They're playing well here at home, and their special teams numbers, not great, but their penalty kill has improved a lot from a really, really poor number to begin the year.
Take a look at the individual leaders for these two squads really quickly as we bring that up on the screen. Allie Bianchini, Rachel Peacock. I switched up lines a little bit earlier this year. Bianchini was on the second, Peacock was on the first. That switch seems to have worked.
I really like the Beacons' chemistry, lines 1 through 4. All 4 lines have been firing the past 2 weekends. UMass Boston has been generating good chances, not just through one line, but 2, 3, 4. They're getting a lot of good shift after. That's Matt Meisenbacher's favorite term. And for both of these teams, I think that you're not going to be surprised today if a fourth liner scores. UMass Boston, some of their best players this year have been on the fourth line. So it'll be interesting. You see all of these names, and it could be 5 different players that aren't on our top individual leaders who end up making a big impact offensively.
And you look there, Ellen Carter, the 5'11" junior defenseman for Endicott, leading the team with 10 points. She's someone to keep an eye on.
Yeah, she's very obvious. She's got a hard lefty shot from the point. She's going to be out there on the power play. Got to see her yesterday. She's not the fastest of players, so that'll be interesting. A couple times we saw Stevenson skate out wide and gain the zone, got a little bit of an edge inside and get some good looks against Janssen, who was up to the task. So that'll be something for the Beacons to try to do, use their speed against some of the bigger players on Endicott.
Let's take a look at our player to watch, one of those fourth liners you mentioned, and of course our UMass Boston player to watch is sponsored by Puritan Pizza, located right on Morrissey Boulevard. Puritan Pizza uses only the finest and freshest ingredients, and one of the finest and freshest this year has been that young lady, Edie Moritz, who scored a career-high 8 goals as a sophomore, and she's really followed things up.
Yeah, really strong game yesterday. A blast from the point to make it 3-1 after Wesleyan cut into the Beacons' 2-0 lead after one. Was a huge goal, an insurance goal that pretty much put the Cardinals out of the game. She's a player who's playing on the fourth line this year. She's played on the second and third in years previous. That's how strong the Beacons are depth-wise at the center position. And that 8 of 12 on the faceoff is huge. UMass Boston was dominant there yesterday. We'll see if they can be as successful in today's game.
Look at the goalie matchup between these two teams. We mentioned Rachel Mayette. She's been solid despite the record going up against her a little bit. The junior Vendela Janssen, you mentioned her. Sparkling numbers. Those are numbers you don't see very often at this level in women's hockey. You really can't argue with the success.
No, you're looking at 2 veteran goalies. Janssen has been the starter pretty much since day one for an Endicott program in their 3rd year. Rachel Mayette, the Quinnipiac transfer, has been the starter ever since she stepped on campus. And today's game could come down to which goalie steals a win today, because this game will likely end up being 2-1, 3-2, and with maybe some lesser goaltending, it could be a 5-4 game. It's just how good these goaltenders have been.
Let's take a look at the Endicott starters as both team starters are being introduced on the ice. Lexi Klein and Carolina Hughes are the wingers, with Maggie Leo between them. The blue liners, we mentioned Ellen Carter, Holly Irby, and the netminder, Vendela Janssen. We'll let the Beacon starters introduce themselves, then we'll go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the opening face-off of the 11th Codfish Bowl title between Endicott and UMass Boston.
Emily Harris, junior forward, from wherever's not going to get me hit.
Jade Morissette, senior forward, Pembroke, Mass.
Alexis Bianchini, senior forward, Detroit, Michigan.
Ariel Galucci, junior defenseman from Warren, New Jersey.
Grace Fisher, sophomore defense, Vienna, Virginia.
Rachel Mayette, senior goalie, Duxbury, Mass.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
I'd like to thank our sponsor for this afternoon's game. That is Applebee's. Come in after the game for half-priced apps from 9 p.m. to close. Let's take a look now, Seth, at our keys to the game between these two teams as they get set for the opening face-off. And as is the case with any championship affair, it is going to be critical to be disciplined and to not allow yourself to play outside of your mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to when you look at it, Endicott 22 of 22 on the penalty kill. That means that you're probably not going to get a special teams goal, but more importantly, you don't want Endicott converting at a 25% clip to get too many chances. Make the most of those chances. UMass Boston this year, up until that game yesterday, had created more shots on goal with every game, but hadn't necessarily created 2, 3, 4 goals. We saw a game 2 weeks ago where the Beacons had 50-plus shots, just the one goal against Plymouth State. That's not going to get it done. And how do you get it done? Get traffic in front of the eyes of Janssen. She's too good without any traffic in front. She's going to make the save 99 times out of 100. You have to move her around, change the angles, and hopefully get some traffic in front.
Morissette wins the face-off away from Leo, and the Beacons turn it over in the attacking zone. Outlet feed is intercepted by Fisher. She tries to connect there with Harris. Beacons in neutral ice. Grace Fisher with possession, connecting here with Bianchini on the near side. Of course, Allie tied for the team leading goals with Rachel Peacock, who we'll see a lot of. Off the good save there from Janssen on a shot from the outside. Here's Fisher getting it from Gallucci right in front, and that one knocked down in front by the 5'11" defender Ellen Carter as Gallucci comes to pick this one up for neutral ice. Saucered into the zone there by Carter, deflected by Gallucci. Around the net she comes, tries to connect with Harris. Emily struggles to settle down a bouncing puck in her own zone, getting a little help from Jane Morissette, who sends it near side off the sideboards. It will not get to the end line for icing. Corralling that one is Megan Farragher as she dumps this one down, misses her mark looking for Jade Meyer. It's taken by UMass Boston as Jane Ann Drill, who had an assist yesterday and was our player of the game in the semifinal match of this Codfish Bowl. She comes in, fires this one, that one wide on the far side post, careening into the corner to be taken by Rachel Peacock. One of the hottest Beacons offensive players, number 8 in white with possession around the sideboards on the far side, all the way around the horn, takes the shot, deflected in front by Beauregard, and a good opening chance there for the Beacons. Exactly what you're talking about, traffic in front.
Beacons' first 2 shifts have had traffic in front both times. Fisher's shot didn't get through. A better look there from the point from Peacock. The Beacons clearly had the same idea I had prior to this game.
Nolan backhands this one towards Drill on the far side in front of the bench, fires it in to the glove of Janssen, and the save is made by the junior from Sweden.
Yeah, and that time Beauregard was trying to get a tip. UMass Boston recognizing the skill of Janssen. And this Endicott team, I mean, they're coming in on a high note. Last year they lost in the first round game to Bowdoin. They want this championship, a chance to earn some hardware for a group that has had so much success in their first 3 years, already a power here in New England in just their 3rd year as a varsity program.
Janssen, the second Swedish goalie that the Beacons have faced this year. Lindqvist a couple of weeks ago, also from the native of Sweden, as the Beacons turn this one over in the attacking zone. Coming back the other way is Rachel Lustenring. Lustenring tried to dump it back, but no one was home as it's taken in by Erica Lund. Sophomore from Kingston, 2-on-2 with Marin Brown as she decides to try to dump this one back. Taken in at the point smartly by Gallucci. She spins and takes the shot. It got through and deflected wide off one of the defender's skates. But a good idea there for Ariel as it's kept in by Grace Fisher. Second shift here for the Beacons' top defense. And Seth, for the second straight day, Beacons playing only with 5.
Yeah, Lizzie Saxer still in a boot. She should be back sometime soon. It wasn't a break, just a bad bone bruise, but the Beacons forced to play with 5 defensemen this weekend. And you're going to see them mix and match, but in the early going, we haven't seen much of Katie Jetter.
Into the attacking zone, there is Danea Bozzona as she crumbles down on the far side, being pressured there by one of the bright spots as a freshman, Katie Leffler from Key Largo, who's played really well offensively. And now the Beacons see this one dump back into their own half of the ice. Jane Ann Drill, who actually said that she didn't have a problem only playing 5 defensemen. She doesn't like to really sit on the bench for a while and let her legs get cold.
Well, Jane Ann has a ton of energy just from interacting with her outside of the ice. And I think, especially as a freshman, those freshmen just want to be out on the ice as much as possible.
Edie Moritz goes for a line change after dumping it back to Drill. Our player to watch, Moritz. You'll see a lot of her today on the penalty kill if necessary, as well as the power play this year. She's made more of an appearance there as that one is dumped into the attacking zone. Quick snapshot saved by Mayette on the shot there from number 18, Lexi Klein.
That's a difficult one. First action of the game. It was a good wrister, nearly caught her, and a big save from Maya.
Morissette kicks it from her skate to her stick on the feed from Leffler. Tries to center it in front as she was looking to connect with the defenseman Brie Colucci. 4 minutes into this one in the first period. Very fast-paced action already as the Beacons fire this one in. A rebound chance for Bianchini. Save. Rebound and another try there from Morissette. Just trickles wide.
This is a much different start than yesterday, despite the fact the Beacons got 2 goals. The Beacons look better than they did yesterday against a weaker team in Wesleyan.
Finally, the breakout here for the Gulls as Endicott dumps it down. This, however, will be icing on Endicott College. And we'll get a chance to take a look at the coaches, beginning with Lindsey Berman. And really, what a run it's been for Berman as the Beacons coach is coming over for Colleen Harris. We weren't sure what to expect, but she has really lived up to expectations.
Well, Berman is a calming influence on this Beacons team. Never gets too high, never gets too low. Has done a really nice job. In her first season, led the Beacons to their first ever NCAA tournament appearance. Last season, 19 wins, the most in program history, and the Beacons off to another good start here in 2017-2018.
Galucci, D-to-D feed far side. Fisher kept it in as she tried to dump this one deeper. Deflected out of play there by Caroline Hughes, and we will get a face-off. On the other side, we'll get a chance to look at Andrew McPhee at the next icing. He has been really an outstanding coach here for Endicott for a couple of years.
Well, it was a steal. I mean, he'd had so much success at Trinity College, a program who's had a lot of success at the Division III level, and they brought him over. He spent a year as the JV coach, and then has taken over and spent the past 3 years as the varsity program, and they've had just as much success as the Beacons over the past couple of years.
Almost a turnover in Fisher's own zone. Good play by Peacock, but then she turns it over, and the backhand is wide of the net by Jillian Gibbs, a sophomore from Burlington, Vermont. As the second real good chance, I should say, for the Gulls.
Yeah, Gibbs is not a player you want to turn the puck over to in that position. 18 goals as a freshman. Already has 18 for a career, 14 as a freshman.
Gibbs whistles that one past the net mouth as she got her second chance on this shift, and then that one was a great play by Gibbs as she almost turned a mistake by Galucci on a cross-ice pass right back into the net.
This is a huge shift for Endicott. The Beacons had probably won the first 5 minutes despite nothing on the scoreboard, and now Endicott coming out with some really good forechecking pressure.
Peacock emerges, connecting there with Lunn. Erica all alone, 1-on-4, and somehow gets it into the corner where it is taken and moved forward now by number 15, Maeve Moynihan, the freshman from West Roxbury.
John, that was a perfect job, though, by Lunn. She was able to get the other 4 skaters out there. The Beacons kept the puck in the zone, and now they get the puck right back.
Sarah King into the attacking zone. She's the only one on the near side. Tries to center it in front. No one home except for Megan Farragher, who sends it outside. And a breakout here as this one's dumped all the way down by Lustenring. No icing. Waved off by one of the linesmen as it's taken in behind the net by Drill. D-to-D for Brie Colucci. And this duo's really gained a lot of chemistry over the last couple of weeks. However, Colucci does miss her mark there for Lund, and we do have icing, and now a chance to take a look at the aforementioned Andrew McPhee.
McPhee has done such a nice job for this Endicott program. Both teams, the men's and the women's program, have really jumped into Division III play and had a lot of success. Last year, McPhee named the New England Writers Hockey Association Coach of the Year, a very special, prestigious award for the Division II and Division III ranks.
That was Dania Bazona, the center, winning the faceoff over to Emma McDowell, who fired that one in on net, but good save and an alert play by Mayette. And the faceoff this time won, very well played there by Moritz as she persevered and won it back to Jane Ann Drill. Now Colucci backhanding it, trying to get it through McDowell, and the Beacons turn it over right into the slot. However, a good play defensively by who else? Edie Moritz to pick things up.
Couple bad shifts in a row for UMass Boston, making some poor passes in their own zone.
Into the attacking zone, one of the hottest players, Katie Berry, with a quick snapshot from down low, misses wide of the net.
John, my debate today was, do I go Moritz or Barry as our player to watch? Both of them with a good start here.
Both playing on that fourth line as this one siphoned by Barry to the point. Quick one-time slap there from Jetter, and that one misses the mark. First time to mention Katie Jetter, one of the assistant captains for this UMass Boston squad. Native of Winthrop. Really a steadying presence on the blue line, considering the injuries the Beacons have had, as tumbling down there was McDowell. Not sure if she got hit, but she lost her stick. In the attacking zone now, Barry tried to dump it down low. Good defensive play by Alexa Pritkelis as she sent it right back out to Jeter. Dumped all the way in by Caitlin Parent. Beacons will get a forward line change, and they'll get that top line out there. Cross-ice feed knocked down by Morissette. Attempting that was Ashley Jones. Harris applying the forecheck. Backhanded out of harm's way by Pritkelis. And now Jeter sends it off of the UMass Boston logo on the far side boards. And Harris punches this one all the way in, harassing Ellen Carter. Carter somehow gets through 3 Beacons, and the breakout begins as here is Lexi Klein, one of their top scorers, coming on in. Tries to go cross-ice, connecting with Caroline Hughes, but just missed outside of her grasp. Keeping it in the zone and dumping it down is Maggie Leo looking for Hughes. Jane Andrill loses possession. Hughes caroms it off the back of the net, taken in near side by Klein. She siphons it around the end boards, but the only one home there was Jane Andrill. With 11:40 to go, Jane dumps it down, and this will not make it down for icing.
Nice little bounce there for UMass Boston as it fell on its side.
Blue stick still in the Endicott zone, as coming on in with this one is Samantha Fuller, a junior forward. And she will come all the way around. Excuse me, that's actually Jillian Gibbs, 26, not 20. As this is siphoned around the boards there by Bianchini. And the Beacons will try to break out, and they do, at least get it to the red line where it's moved back in for Gibbs. Gibbs 3-on-2. Great pass in front, and unable to settle that puck down there was Jade Meyer. Meyer behind the net, right in front, and getting hooked up a little bit. Good play by Beauregard as she lifted the stick of Walpole.
It's been a physical affair here in the opening 10 minutes. The speed is definitely there, but I don't think there's necessarily some dislike in this one. It's just a little bit of extra intensity because this is a championship atmosphere.
Absolutely, and the speed of this one reminded me a little bit, maybe not to the level, but relatively of the speed between Hobart and UMass Boston's men's team that we saw last week at the beginning of the game, where both teams just picked up the pace from the opening faceoff. We'll see if these teams can keep up the pace as the Beacons in their own zone trying to get it out. Beauregard loses it. There's a snapshot on Mayette. Good save. Rebound is lilling loose right in front, as waiting for it was Rachel Lustenring, but instead here's Beauregard coming the other way. 2-on-5 as the Beacons are getting some fresh legs on the blue line. Still got that second line out there. Peacock knocked down by Nolan. Rachel was waiting for it, unable to get there. Now coming back the other way, moving forward with it is Carter. Good pressure there from the forward Lunn. And this one dumped all the way in, where Ariel Gallucci will get there first. Keeps it away from the forechecking Gull. And now here come the Beacons, 3-on-2. Lunn, she has King and Brown, takes the shot wide of the net. And that one careening towards the point, where it is kept in by King. Marin Brown, the captain, can't settle it down, but King can, as she's at the near side boards, dumps it back towards the point. Gallucci has to backhand it to keep it away from one of the Gulls forwards. As Erica Lunn in the corner fighting with a couple of Gulls, it's swatted out by Farragher. Backhanded back again behind the net there by Gallucci. King cannot get there. Callie Chase, the defender, can for the Gulls, and misses the mark on the breakout, and therefore it's taken in by Gallucci, who will dump it all the way back in. Behind the net, the first to get there is Moritz, but Carter with a good job keeping possession out of her grasp. And now Callie Chase behind the net as she double backs around with the aggressive forecheck of Lunn in her face. Lunn takes the turnover shot. Great save with a waffle board there. The first big tough save for Janssen, and she comes through.
Point blank from the slot. Terrible turnover. We saw the Beacons give up a couple of those, and that's by far the Beacons' best chance here in the first 11 minutes.
First chance for Erica Lunn in a while as she gets a shot on goal, but a good save there from Janssen. Now behind the net, Jane Andrill fighting for possession with Dania Bonoza. And eventually Bazona loses it and heads out to the bench. Now here back onto the ice, trying to drop this one down. Lexi Klein gets it from Hughes, a shot on goal. That one blocked down in front. 8:35 to go in a fast-moving first period. Not a lot of whistles as behind the net is Hughes. Hughes hits Klein. Hughes and Klein out there with Leo. Back to the point now, and there's a shot from Moynihan, blocked in front. A rebound is loose, and Jane Andrill is able to at least poke it out of the net mouth before it is knocked towards the near side wall by Leo.
I think Moritz was the one who got the shot block in there. She's so good at getting her body in front of the shooting lane.
Kicking this one towards Leo, and now Leo centers it in front. There's a shot in on goal, and a good kick save by Mayette as she denies Jade Meyer. So Mayette and Janssen have had to make strong saves over the last 2 minutes as the Beacons get some fresh legs out there. And this one knocked down by Brie Colucci. It is the top line. Morissette with possession. Tries to lift this one up and saucer it over a couple of defenders. Unsuccessful. Bianchini overskates the puck. Here's Gibbs coming on in. Not a tough save there for Rachel Mayette as she covers up before Meyer can get there. 7:36 to go, Seth 0-0. We've seen things we like from both sides.
Well, I think the Beacons won the first 5 minutes. If you were judging this like a boxing fight, then it was Endicott the next 5, and now we've seen both teams do some good things here in the next 2.5 minute portion. Right now, the biggest thing is avoiding those sloppy turnovers in the defensive end for both sides have been guilty of it over the last 3 to 4 minutes.
Meyer got a shot in on Mayette. Good save by Rachel as she hugged the near side post. Here in the last few minutes, like you said, a little more pressure from Endicott as that's spun around by Jane Morissette. Bianchini doubles back behind the net towards the end boards before saucering it away from the forechecking forward. That was Walpole. And then Jetter tries to bounce it off and out of the zone, but instead it's dunked right back towards her by Bianchini. D-to-D for Colucci. Morissette just tries to poke it out of the zone, cannot. Instead, coming away with it for the moment there was Walpole, but the Beacons able to regain possession as Morissette heats Bianchini. We'll get some fresh legs out there. Allie doing a great job dangling through the neutral ice as she dumps it down and she can get off the ice. Behind the net, Beauregard cannot keep it away. Meanwhile, sending this one forward is Ellen Carter, knocked down. Beacons keep it in the zone. That is Peacock just trying to dump it towards the slot. And eventually Ellen Carter gains possession behind the net, spins it around the end boards, and it'll come near side to be taken in by Lustenring. From the red line, Colucci able to get it to Peacock. Peacock off the sideboards. Good play by Nolan, lifting the stick of Carter and just using her muscles to get possession, but the no-look backhand feed and no one home. And dumping that one all the way in for a line change will be Michaela McNamara. Only player on the ice right now, at least at forward, is Lustenring, and she gets there first. Grace Fisher pinning her into the boards. Nolan takes possession thanks to Fisher's play and dumps it down behind the net. Beauregard can't clear. It's taken here by McDowell. And Emma loses possession, but the Beacons now finally able to clear. This, however, will be icing. No, wow, a little bit of a slowdown, and they wave it off.
Second time the Beacons have had a little bit of home ice advantage there.
Now Farragher dumps this all the way down, and this will be icing. So from whence it came, the Beacons will head down to the other side of the ice, and they will get that second line out there.
John, I don't think UMass Boston came into this game intimidated by Endicott despite the national ranking, but if you're 15 minutes in and you're playing this even, I think it's going to help the confidence of UMass Boston knowing that they can skate with this Endicott team. Anytime you see a 0 losses this deep into the season, shows that a team is very talented, and the Beacons have done a really nice job of skating with Endicott and creating some chances.
Actually, the third line is Marin Brown's shot just missed, and then there's a blast from Jane Andrill at the point, and a good save with the left leg by Janssen, and then with the right leg as Erica Lund continuing to apply offensive pressure this afternoon.
But on both shots, there's no one out in front to potentially get the rebound or put a little bit of traffic in front of the eyes of Janssen.
Erica Lund dangles through the defense and gets into the attacking zone. The captain takes the shot. That was deflected and out of play, and so the faceoff should stay in the offensive zone.
Yeah, good work by McDowell getting a stick on that, actually. That might have been Callie Chase, number 12, instead of number 2. Now you've got an offensive zone draw. The Beacons are going to go with the fourth line, and it's interesting. This is the second or third time we've seen the fourth line come out with Moritz Barry and Caitlin Parent, the extra skater. I don't remember the last time we saw Leffler, who might be the most goal-dangerous player on that fourth line.
Lexi Klein corrals this one after it's dumped down. Center it right in front, and looking for that one was Leo, but it's deflected by Jetter out of immediate harm's way. The blast from the point by Moynihan is off the mark. From the far side, good play defensively as the Beacons get it. That was through Edie Moritz. And now here's Jetter, who will dump it all the way in on net. Gloved out of the air by Janssen, and a break for the Beacons as she will cover.
I love that from Katie Jetter. You know that you're probably in a line change. Actually, Lindsey Berman's going to wait on it, so it'll be the fourth line here, but they have confidence in all four lines. Interesting to see if UMass Boston will call up a play here. Moritz so good in the faceoff dot.
She does not win that one, however, as it is taken by Ellen Carter off the faceoff win by Leo. Still in the Beacons offensive zone as Carter connecting here with number 18, Lexi Klein. Klein double team, Barry from behind. And Grace Fisher from in front as that one is sent out of the zone. Coming back in with it now is Jillian Gibbs actually, as Jillian with under 4 minutes to go. Connecting there with Leo. Tries to backhand it right into the slot, but coming on in was Carter. She couldn't get there first. Beacons trying to clear and still trying to as Barry fighting for it there with Pretkelis. 3 players now for each side, and it is eventually cleared. And Jade Meyer will send it all the way back towards Janssen. Fresh legs out there for the Beacons, the top line, as well as the Colucci defensive unit. Here is Morissette with a nice offensive zone interception. Backhanded pass in front. What a feed from Harris, but could not connect with Bianchini.
This first line has been quiet since that first or second shift. That was one of the better opportunities they've created.
Beautiful backhanded feed from Emily Harris, and then that outlet pass from Colucci was knocked down, but a good play by Bree to stop on a dime and get back there to recover. And now the Beacons can clear. Knocking that one down towards Morissette was Bianchini. And now Jane is over the blue line and in. Goes to the backhand. Stops on a dime. Back to Jetter. Quick snap shot. Blocked down in front. There's the bodies in front that you mentioned as Harris knocked it down.
Yeah, 2 bodies for the Beacons. A nice job of creating some traffic in front.
Ooh, Bree had a chance for a shot, but a good play, at least keeping it away. And then the backhander is knocked down, still on the near side lip of the circle. But Morissette could not do anything with it. Now coming back the other way is Megan Farragher. Farragher backhanded through the net mouth, knocked down by Mayette. She just kicks it over to Jetter. Katie looking to connect long with Bianchini, and a break for the Beacons as that did come out of the zone.
2 huge defensive plays there by defenseman. Colucci able to break up a potential rush the other way. This time Megan Farragher getting a stick on that puck. Otherwise Bianchini would have been rushing all alone down the other way.
Folks, stay tuned at the intermission, which we're about 157 seconds away from or so, as UMass Boston, of course, played that big matchup against Wesleyan yesterday. We'll get you highlights of that. We'll also get you highlights of the men's basketball Harbor Invitational Tournament during today's broadcast. Coming back the other way now, Fisher. She dumps it all the way in and chases after, and they're going to call icing on UMass Boston. Didn't look like it to me, but nonetheless. 2 minutes, 4 seconds to go. UMass Boston and Endicott College. This is the 11th annual Codfish Bowl tournament. Beacons trying to win just their second and first time with anybody on this roster. Last time they won was 2013-14, and nobody here from that roster as that one is blasted through by McNamara, just wide on the blocker side. Beacons clear this one down and settling it down at the red line before backhanding it into the Beacons bench was the junior Caroline Hughes. So with 1:51 to go, a whistle and a neutral zone faceoff. And Coach Lindsey Berman sending out that third unit. Countering with the top line is Coach McPhee for Endicott, Leo, Klein, and Hughes. And they will take on King, Lunn, and Brown from neutral ice as this faceoff is won by Sarah King. Dumping this one is Grace Fisher. Chasing after it, Carter. Right behind her was King. Good poke check from the captain as she gets it to King. King saucers it around the end boards. Taken in there by Pretkelis and able to get it to the blue line, but no further was Alexa. Here is King coming on in. Takes a shot just off the outside of the post. That one had eyes and almost tickled the twine for Sarah King. This third line has really put pedal to the metal here in the first period. A couple of scoring chances from Lunn, one there from King. And now Fisher kicks this one towards Brown, but she couldn't settle down a bouncing puck. King able to keep it in. Great forechecking. And a cross-ice feed for Lunn, looking for her third shot of the period, and that one is denied again. This time a good save in the 5-hole area by Janssen. That stretch feed is hopping over the stick of Lexi Klein. Klein gets there first, a quick shot, great save made. Short side opportunity for Lexi Klein, and she is denied by the netminder, Rachel Mayette. Great denial by number 30 in white, as Rachel, a 5'9" native of Duxbury, makes the save here, and these Endicott green jerseys look a lot like the Duxbury High School Dragons jerseys. I'm sure Rachel's familiar with from seeing in her hometown from time to time, as this one is backhanded by Katie Berry over the blue line. Great takeaway. A chance. Leffler saucers it towards Morris, and Edie could not settle it down as it careens into the corner. Barry sees this one knocked up and over her stick by Megan Farragher, and the Bridgewater native outlet there for Gibbs, trying to connect with Jade Meyer. And it is cleared down by Colucci to be taken in by Barry. Just 15 seconds to go in the first period of what has been a very eventful, even though there has been no scoring here in the period. Meanwhile, here's Jillian Gibbs. Good poke check from Jane Ann Drill with just 5 seconds to go. And Jane Ann is going to get called for a penalty right at the end, and that is not a good play by the freshman. And unless, they're going to call it on Jane Ann. She took her hand off of the stick. With only 1.1 seconds to go, that is a bad penalty for Jane Ann Drill. Because she could have just let that one go, just tried to tie up the puck and eaten away the rest of the clock. And nonetheless, there's going to be some power play time to start the second period, barring a miracle goal here, as the faceoff be taken by McNamara against Moritz. And Edie will try probably just to tie up McNamara. Got a whistle real quick here as the referee's discussing maybe changing the time on the clock. I don't think they will. And they won't, as we are all set to go. See if McNamara just tries to fire this one in on net off the faceoff. She does, but not going to hit it. That's a real difficult shot. So that is the end of the first period of play. 1:59 left in the power play as the penalty by Jane Ann Drill. We'll see if the Beacons can do a job killing that off. We mentioned during the pregame how critical the special teams would be, and the Beacons are going to have to show how much they've improved on the penalty kill here over the next 2 minutes once the second period begins. But first, we're going to go down to Seth Orensky, who has made his way down to the bench. He'll have a moment with head coach Lindsey Berman.
Joined by head coach Lindsey Berman. Coach, special teams were going to be important in this one, knowing how good they were on special teams. 19 minutes and 59 seconds without any issues. How do you attack this penalty kill to start the second?
Well, we're good on the kill. We just have to be confident. We have to front the puck hard, and we have to be strong on it when we get it on our stick to get it out of the zone.
Rachel Myatt didn't see a ton of action early, but made some really key saves. How important is it for her to have a good one, especially after having such a good game yesterday?
It's huge. She's feeling confident right now, and we're feeling confident in front of her. And as long as she keeps herself up, she'll be good.
Seems like it's a different line every game coming up big. Today, the third line's generated a ton of chances. Why do you think that group's been successful today?
Well, we are deep, which is nice, and those guys are building their confidence, and the more ice they get, I think the more confident they're getting, and they're holding onto the puck a little bit longer, it's really helping them, so hopefully they get to bury one here.
We'll send it back up top and take a look at the women's hockey highlights from yesterday's win over Wesleyan.
Thank you, Seth. Let's take a look now at those highlights that he alluded to, that 3-1 victory against Wesleyan from Saturday's Codfish Bowl semi.
One day I was tripping, and that's when I could see that the things that attempting to could be reality. It was great, that's when I climbed that optimistic vine. Once I hit that mountain peak, I began to lose my mind. I don't need no sympathy, I'm mine. Life's my love and liberty, shining for the shine. Sometimes when I came across this, I said, who are you and
So the women's hockey team got their way to this Codfish Bowl title with that 3-1 victory over Wesleyan. And Seth, as I welcome you back into the booth, what a period it was. 9 shots apiece. We saw both teams really put together solid runs at times, and yet after 20 minutes, it's hard for me to really tell who's the undefeated team and who isn't.
No, I think that you're looking at two very strong sides at a point in the season where winning a title would mean a lot, because UMass Boston right now is heading into one of their tougher parts of the season just because they're going to face a lot of really good teams out of conference. Endicott played a lot of conference teams early on. They haven't played the cream of the crop in their conference, and they play a couple of successively really tough teams in January. So this will be a nice tune-up for them before they play the Norwiches of the world, the Middleburys of the world in January. I think Lindsey Berman would be very happy with those first 20 minutes if not for that penalty to Jane Ann Drill. I don't know what you had a better angle than I did up top. I think it was probably a good call. Maybe a little 50-50. Jane Ann Drill, her issue is she's so strong. Anytime, especially in women's hockey, the strongest players are going to get called because what ends up looking like a penalty might not be a penalty, except for the fact that a player might be a little bit smaller and might end up looking a bit more egregious than it probably was.
Yeah, and it was a close call. I think it was a penalty. My problem with it was there's 3 seconds left. You didn't need to do it. Could have tied up the puck in the end boards and ran out the clock, but I guess it's really hard to tell when you're down there on the ice. A reminder, this first period intermission show is brought to you by Current Solutions Electric. With over 20 years of experience, Current Solutions Electric is more than just an electrical and telecommunications contracting company. Current Solutions provides a total project management approach tailored to each and every client. As we will get a chance to take a look at the first period statistics, and you look there, Seth, very even matchup. Face-offs maybe a little in Endicott's favor, and the power plays say 0 for 1, but it's only been 1 second.
Yeah, the face-offs are the bigger thing, and 10-6 isn't a huge margin. Shots even, saves even. It's going to be a very interesting game. And again, we're going to see a 1-goal game unless maybe there's an empty net goal late on. I think this is a very good matchup, and it's going to help both of these teams a lot. This is probably the closest matchup we've seen in the last couple of years. The Beacons have gone up against some NESCAC teams who on paper were better than them, and then they outskated them. This Endicott team on paper is better than them, but thus far it's been very even both on the stats and on the ice.
The first period intermission stats are brought to you by PS Gourmet Coffee, established in 1986 and with 3 locations in the Boston area. PS Gourmet Coffee offers over 100 flavors of coffee, with each made fresh brewed. Home of the bucket, PS Gourmet Coffee. And Seth, we take a look around Beaconville here on the intermission report, brought to you by Current Solutions Electric. And the women's basketball team with a nice victory, 96-79 over Rivier University. And then on Saturday, of course, the men's basketball team, what a game it was, falling to Bridgewater State in the Harbor Invitational Championship. And the men's hockey team getting a job done again here, 3-0 over Bowdoin. And that victory is for the men's hockey team continuing to build up early on.
Well, the men's team looking to move to 9-1 on the year, looking for their 7th straight win. 2 goals from Colin Larkin early on, 1 goal from Zach Bross. The top line for the Beacons has scored 7 goals already this weekend, and that's a championship game as well. That's the Bowdoin-Colby Classic tournament up there in Maine. The Beacons and Bowdoin both won yesterday, so it was a de facto championship. They didn't want to have the 2 host teams play, so Bowdoin and Colby were never going to play no matter what the results, but chance for the Beacons to take home some hardware, but that team has a little bit bigger focus long term, as does both of these teams in today's matchup. But anytime you can say that you're the championship of something during the season, you're going to be happy with it.
And a chance to add to that banner out there that shows only one women's hockey championship in this, the 11th annual Codfish Bowl tournament. Well, we alluded to that Bridgewater State victory over men's basketball in the Harbor Invitational. Let's take a look now at highlights of that 82-78 defeat that the Beacons really put together a solid game for. That's right here on the Intermission Report on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Intermission Show, brought to you by Current Solutions Electric. Along with Seth Herensky, I'm John Skudras. No score after one period of play here in the 11th annual Codfish Bowl title game between Endicott and UMass Boston. Beacons keeping an eye on the NEHC. Around the NEHC, we'll take a look at the scoreboard. And Amherst College dominating New England College 8-1. That's a final there. And then the University of New England tying Salem State 0-0. So not a whole lot of movement this weekend in the NEHC.
That second game's another NEHC UCHC matchup. Two teams, well, UNE is actually around the middle of the NEHC. Salem State towards the bottom, another one of those programs that's a little bit newer when it comes to Division III. New England College towards the bottom. We saw them here last Saturday, and Amherst is just consistently one of the top teams in the NESCAC. So no surprise that the Mammoths didn't have much issues with the Pilgrims. Right now we'll take a look at some highlights, and not surprisingly, not a ton of them to show from that first period, but a couple of nice chances and a couple of nice saves for either side. We'll start it off here with an early save from Myatt. Myatt hadn't been tested until this chance. And then in comes here. I think it's a quick wrister right there, and Myatt not quite able to hold on to it, but a nice save about 4 minutes into the period. Now we move on just past the midway point, and there's Erica Lund, her second good chance of that shift alone. Beacons unable to put it past Janssen, and there's a good shot from the slot again. Myatt and Janssen going back and forth. Now the Beacons, that backhand feed looking for Bianchini, a no-look pass, a really nice one. And here we're late in the period, about a minute to go. This is a tough angle, and Myatt makes the save. If there was a little bit more time and space there for Lexi Klein, that could have been a lot more dangerous. But the Beacons fortunate as Klein leads the team with 6 goals this season.
Absolutely. Beacons and the Gulls tied up at Goose Eggs after one period of play. Want to thank our sponsor for this afternoon's broadcast and for all women's hockey broadcasts, Applebee's. Come in after the game for half-priced select apps from 9 p.m. to close. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we will have the opening face-off for the second period of this, the 11th annual Codfish Bowl title affair between UMass Boston and Endicott College. That's up next on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown, and it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
The Beacons are on their way out onto the ice. Let's look ahead to see what UMass Boston has coming on up here. And look at that, right as the men take on Bowdoin. The Beacons will be at it at Bowdoin next week. And then, of course, taking on Johnson and Wales at home. Couple of matinee affairs before they head to Colby College. So the Beacons' schedule continuing, and it doesn't really get much easier.
No, the Beacons right now are playing all out-of-conference games after going through a stretch of 6 straight conference games. Bowdoin, a very difficult team out of the NESCAC. Johnson and Wales, a program that I think is in their second or third season, so that should be an easier home test than Colby, a team the Beacons normally handle. And then coming out of the break, the Beacons head to William Smith. They have Middlebury and Stevenson, a team that was here this weekend and ended up winning their first game in the game prior to us. Also, if you were here for game number 1, I have heard through the grapevine that the player that went down for Wesleyan had to be boarded and taken off the ice. It appears to be okay. They were just being precautionary because it was a potential spinal injury, but apparently she is okay, does have movement, because anytime you have something like that, it's very scary. We had a 45-minute delay during the game prior to this one. That's why we were off to a late start today, and that's why it's the start of the second period, and it's already 5:05.
We are all set. Beacons will be shorthanded for 1:59. Face-off to be taken here by Michaela McNamara against Jane Morissette. And there we mentioned the face-off win, dumping it all the way down, and a chance here for the Beacons to kill off 15 to 20 seconds.
Yeah, this is huge for UMass Boston. They needed that face-off win. Now a couple of clearances, and you can really shorten this potential power play for Endicott that's been so good this year.
There's a chance right in front. Nice attempt for a pass, but a great defensive effort made by both Colucci and Morissette. Not sure who ended up deflecting that. Now from the point, here's Ellen Carter, goes far side. Carter is out there on the blue line along with Megan Farragher. The forwards are Meyer as well as McNamara, and now on the near side is number 26, Jillian Gibbs. Great diving poke check from Jane Morissette. Not only does she win that face-off, she gets the job done there. Now here's Meyer coming back the other way. No rest for the weary. A shot and a good stick save as swiping it through the crease was Rachel Mayette.
Morissette broke up the play the first time, able to get it out, but not for long. Endicott quickly getting it back into the zone.
Gibbs trying to go back to the point. Good defensive play as Kaylee Beauregard knocks it away from Farragher, and we get a chance for at least one fresh leg out there for the Beacons as backhanding this one is Meyer around the end boards. 43 seconds to go. The 2-minute minor that was absorbed by Jane Ann Drill in the first period with 1 second left as that one careens right into the slot, and a good clear again by who else but Morissette.
Yeah, this is huge right now. Both Beauregard and Morissette, two players who aren't all that tall, getting long by extending the stick, and now a good chance for Endicott.
Backhanded through the net mouth there by Courtney Wowpull, but not much on it. Back to the point. With possession, here's Lexi Klein. Got it poked away. Quick snapshot, blocked down in front from Jeter. The shot came from McNamara. Excuse me, actually, it was Ellen Carter. There's a snapshot. Good save by Mayette on the blast there from Klein. 6 seconds left.
Endicott in the umbrella. No traffic in front of Mayette.
There's a chance. Great save by Rachel Mayette on the second chance opportunity by Walpole. And now the Beacons trying to get it out of their zone. The power play is over. Marin Brown comes out on the ice. It's 5-on-5, but still pressure here as behind the net is Leo. Leo saucers it near side. Beacons trying to clear, and they do as they get that one up and over Carter.
That was huge. UMass Boston did a good job in the first minute 45. Gave up a couple of bad chances in the last 15 seconds. Finally able to clear the zone.
Marin Brown shows her wheels as she skates right by Walpole, who's been out there for about a minute. Now she hits the bench. And then getting crunched into the boards there was Marin Brown, the captain, able to get it to King. Sarah King over the red line somehow keeps possession as she goes right by number 23, Rachel Lustenring. Behind the net, loses possession, taken in there and skated out by Holly Airby. And then eventually McNamara pokes it towards Jane Ann Drill, who's out of the sin bin and onto the ice as the Beacons turn it over to who else? Ellen Carter, whose minutes continue to rise.
Yeah, well, you can see why. She's just so big, so long. She can skate pretty well as well, and she's got that big shot on the power play.
King kept that one in as she sends it right around for Carter to wheel back the other way from whence it came. Taken in there by Lustenring, but she's bodied up on a good play made by Julia Nolan. Now here's a quick snap from Lunn, who has been really a lot more noticeable offensively here through the first 25 minutes. Lunn trying to dangle around the defender, Irby. Lost it, but got a little help from Peacock, and now here's Lunn again. Spins it right in front for a deflection from Nolan. It's just wide on the far side.
Julia Nolan's a little snake bit, still looking for that first goal of her sophomore season. In a great position there, just couldn't put it on target.
Peacock deflected it towards Nolan, and now Nolan ties up the defender, Carter, who's still out there. With possession, number 8 in white, that's Peacock, jockeyed up by number 8 in green, that's Carter. And then gets it taken away by McNamara, but a good play on the forecheck by Peacock, but instead emerging from it and connecting with Lustenring was Perry as that shot is sticked away there by Mayette, and as Perry fired at him from way out and goes for a line change. From her own zone, Beauregard sends it far side, taken in and moved forward by Jane Ann Drill. Drill, eyes up and hits Peacock, still out there. Beacons on side, tries to stretch it far side, hits Beauregard. Back to the point, D to D for Drill. Drill takes the shot, deflected off the stick of McDowell, all the way up into the catwalks, and that will be a whistle with 15:33 to go.
That's a big shot block. I don't know if we have the replay of that one, but Rachel Peacock was in a good position to either get a tip on that shot or potentially step in front of Janssen and really put some pressure on the Endicott goalie. Nice job by McDowell, the fourth liner.
4.5 into this period as there's a blast there from Leffler off the who else? Moritz face-off win. Leffler pinches in to knock it around the end boards, where Farragher gets taken into the boards a little bit by Barry. Farragher is able to get it to the sideboards, but a good poke check by Moritz and Leffler allowed Barry to knock it around the end boards. And now eventually the Beacons, who gained a little bit of momentum perhaps from that penalty kill, will gain possession again. Here's Barry. This fourth line continuing to play well offensively as that shot from Barry is knocked down by Farragher. And who else emerges with it but Barry again? She skates like lightning out there, gets it to the point. One-time shot from Jeter. That one off the end of the stick and Karam's wide. Jeter pokes this one in neutral ice off the outlet feed, intended for Jade Meyer. Jeter back behind her net, tried to find Gallucci, but off the mark. So they turn over in their own zone. Moritz and Gallucci fighting for it there, along with number 26, Jillian Gibbs. Gibbs taken into the boards by Moritz, a poke from Gallucci, and the Beacons will be able to clear. From neutral ice, taking it in her own zone there is Callie Chase, but Callie loses it. Now here coming the other way is Moritz, got it poked away. Barry fighting for it there, just 4'11", plays with a ton of heart as this one is siphoned around the end boards by Moritz. Fisher pinched in from the blue line and then taken away from her, and Maddie Leo will move it forward for Hughes, and Caroline will poke it down. Is getting some fresh legs out there is McPhee's Endicott Gulls.
It's going to be really interesting. Endicott has shown some good team speed throughout this game. The Beacons' 5 defensemen are only going to get more tired as today's game goes along after playing with just 5D yesterday. UMass Boston's going to have to make sure their forwards come and help out on the back check. Otherwise, we could see some odd man rushes in which Endicott might win some of those rushes to the puck or rushes to the net.
Beacons were offside as Bianchini tried to skate it over. She's out there with Morissette and Harris, that top unit. The blue liners are Fisher and Drill. And the faceoff one towards the Beacons bench where it's sent down by Carter. Getting out race to the puck was Fisher, but sending it around the end boards is Lexi Klein. Taken in at the point here by Moynihan. That one blocked down. Coming back the other way now. Morissette tried to backhand it towards Bianchini, intercepted by Carter. And then Fisher, who lost sight of the puck for a moment between her skates, just has to keep it away from number 18, Lexi Klein. 13-18 to go, second period. Apologies, we teased the trivia question. We'll get that at the next stoppage. We'll bring you the Beacons Broadcasting Network trivia question. Before the broadcast, Seth Orensky said this is one I'll be stumped on. We'll see. As Bianchini loses it in the attacking zone all the way down. This is not icing. As coming down is Jane Ann Drill. Touches this one up, tries to backhand it, loses it. Still between the skates of Tennille Perry. A backhander right in front. A good poke by Marin Brown, as that would have been a great chance for Lustenring. That one sails high and wide on a shot from the point from Callie Chase. And the Beacons trying to chase this one out of their own zone. Instead, they send it all the way back into the far side corner for Fisher. Fisher thought about going to Harris. That one hits the ref on the bench, and it's still live. What a break here for the Gulls, but losing that one, and instead of bringing it in was McNamara. And now Drill behind the net, sends it far side. D to D, back from Fisher to Drill, and Erica Lund will just backhand this one off the boards, and now coming the other way with a chance is King. King gets it poked away, delayed offsides, and that is offsides on UMass Boston. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Beacons Broadcasting Network trivia question. With 12:08 to go in the second period of play. And Seth, UMass Boston won their only Codfish Bowl title during the 2013-14 season. Who was the MVP? And name one of the 2 goal scorers. How about that?
Yeah, John, I picked this one because you should have an idea of who the MVP is. The 2 goal scorers a little bit harder. One, not a surprise that she scored in the win. One, probably one of her 3 or 4 goals of her career. So we'll see if you can get both parts. I think you have a better chance at the first and the second.
I don't think I have a chance at either, to be honest. Trying to think back, there's been so many players. That was my first year on Beaconville, 13-14. So I definitely remember doing the Codfish Bowl. I'll have to think about it. Beacons win the faceoff. Here's Peacock, quick snap. That one knocked down at the dot. And the Beacons see this one cleared out to the red line. Moving forward, Ashley Jones. First chance to mention her name as she siphons this one around the end boards. Taken in by Colucci. And then sending this one far side. A dangerous pass as it was poked back towards the net by Klein, but covered up by Mayette.
Another period where both teams win a couple shifts in a row, and then we see a good response. I think the biggest thing here is in the period of the long change, UMass Boston has to be extra careful getting those defensemen a little bit shorter shifts and making sure that they're getting them off the ice in a good matter of time.
Puck still loose in front as Mayette made a great diving save on a chance from right out in front by Maddie Leo. There's a chance in front. That one skips under the stick of the forward, and a blast from the point there by Brett Kellis is denied by Rachel Mayette. But 3 or 4 golden opportunities there for the Gulls but unable to get it in with 11:11 to go.
Yeah, these last couple of minutes have been dominated by Endicott, and that was a couple of frenetic moments for UMass Boston, just frantic to get the puck out of the zone. Right now they needed to win that faceoff and now have to get it out.
Beacons trying to get it out, as Seth said, unable to do so off the faceoff loss. And now an opportunity for a snap there from Klein. That one blocked down in front. This is the fourth line out there for the Beacons, trying to do a job and get it clear as we approach the halfway point of this affair. Leo, backhander in front. Great save by Mayette on a point-blank shot from Caroline Hughes.
Mayette is viewing the puck really well today. That was a really tough save in tight, and she immediately picked up on it, making another big one.
Parent was able to get it all the way down, but the Beacons immediately turn it over, and that one deflected, so no icing. Mayette touches it up, hands it off to Jane Ann Drill. Long stretch feed. She has Parent, who knocks it down and skates over. Parent in the near side corner, gets it towards Ali Bianchini. Back to the point. Drill takes the shot. A couple of players in front, including Moritz, who made the deflection, but it sails wide.
Janssen never saw it. That's the kind of traffic I was asking for. 2 Beacons with 2 goals trying to defend those 2 players, and it was just unfortunate the tip went wide of the net. Janssen was still looking for it after it hit the boards behind her.
Blue liner's back as Bianchini. She's got Harris and Drill behind her. Takes the shot and a save made, and no rebound. Good coverage there for Janssen.
And that's a similar shot. Now, granted, there's no Beacons in front, but she tried to use the defenseman, or defensewoman in this case, as a shield. Let's see if the Beacons can draw up a play here. Jane Morissette so good in the faceoff dot. Maybe a shot for Colucci or Jane Ann Drill on the blue line.
Trying to win the faceoff. Morissette, she does. Here's Harris getting it back to Drill, right back to Emily. Harris looking at Drill, instead backhands it around the corner into the end boards, where Morissette tries to poke it through Farragher. 2 on each side fighting for it. Harris becomes the third Beacon, and it was a good decision because she's able to get it to Bianchini. Allie's got Jane and Drill, and that one was a bit of a lazy letdown, and now here coming the other way is Gibbs. Gibbs, teed up by Colucci, has no angle, got a man in front there. Great save made by Rachel Mayette. Lateral movement with the best woman. She kicks it away.
Jade Meyer was wide open in the slot right in front of the net. No Beacons picked her up. She just outraced UMass Boston. This game should be 1-0 right now, if not for a beautiful kick save from Mayette.
That was one of the best we've seen from Rachel all year long, as she keeps it 0-0 with 9 minutes to go in the second. What a championship-level save that was. It's coming the other way as McNamara skates through 2 defenders, but a good play by Colucci to tie up her stick and dislodge the puck as Drill will send it around the end boards. From behind the net, Bree Colucci, as she sends this one towards the point, but it's kept in. Good pass looking for McNamara. She takes the shot, blocked down in front. Beacons looking like chickens with their heads cut off at the moment as they're trying to get this one out of the zone. And from the near side wall, fighting for it, couple of Beacons, including Harris, as well as Drill, and eventually King emerges from it. And will send it off the sideboards, and mercifully it comes out where the Beacons can gain possession as it's sent back in. Not a great breakout there, as instead coming back the other way is Mae Moynihan, and a good block in front by Jane Ann Drill. Fearless in front.
These Beacons defensemen are tired. We've seen a couple of bad clearances right into a swarm of goals, allowing Endicott to keep the puck in the zone.
Moynihan shot, the bouncer in front, as that one was partially deflected, but Rachel stayed with it, and Mayette makes the save.
And a really smart cover up there. Rachel knew that she had to get the 2 defensemen off, and the Beacons are going to send an entire new group of players out there.
I would think.
Yeah, I mean, the Beacons were very even for about the first 26, 27 minutes. Endicott has played as well as they played all day, and UMass Boston just looks a step slow at this point.
Nolan on the face-off against number 21, Danea Bazona, but Bazona wins it. And then this chance to get it back to Carter goes through the 5'11 defender's legs and comes all the way back down for Alexa Pritkelis, her freshman line mate, to get there. D-to-D feed connecting with the Roseville, Minnesota native, and a takeaway for Peacock off the side of the net with a quick snapshot.
It all started with Beauregard tipping it away. Peacock shot just a bit too tough of an angle to score from there.
Here's Rachel again with a nice turnover force. The puck is loose as Beauregard couldn't find it, and neither could Janssen, but instead now coming the other way is Ashley Jones. Good poke check by the assistant captain. That is Katie Jetter. And the Beacons are able to get it out of the zone as Carter fires it back in for a line change.
That was a huge tip by Jetter as the Beacons had 3 players pinched forward on the initial chance, unable to do much with it.
Beauregard had Peacock, couldn't get it to her. Beacons get it, and Colucci finds Rachel Peacock, who sends it over the blue line, intercepted by Callie Chase. That one off the stanchion and out of play, and so a face-off from neutral ice with 6:58 to go.
John, we've got a bit of a Division III celebrity here. Not only the New England Hockey Conference commissioner, but Katie Boldvich is also the Endicott College Hockey Conference commissioner as well. So we're going to try to get her on at intermission to talk about both of these teams and their strong starts to the season.
Spoke with Katie a couple of years ago. I think it was a couple of years ago now, or one of her first year, the first year of the NEHC, as this one is fired in, knocked down there from Leffler, and Katie could not recover, and now here coming the other way, an opportunity. Caroline Hughes is over the blue line. She loses possession, and this one comes into the corner, taken in by Drill. Drill sends it far side. Fisher, nice dangle, but lost possession. That's going to allow Lexi Klein to keep it in. Moritz takes it away. Now Barry connecting with Leffler, and it's 2-on-3 as the Beacons move forward. Leffler takes the shot wide of the net. Greens towards the sideboards. Katie got a little hooked there, lost possession. Nice no-look backhand feed from Leffler looking for Moritz, but Edie couldn't get a shot away. This will be icing on the visiting Endicott goal. So a break for the Beacons with 6:03 to go.
Yeah, UMass Boston needs some offensive zone time. They're going to send out the top line right now. And for this Beacons team, you'd love to get a goal before the end of the period, but at worst, you want this game to be tied going into the third, because then you'll go back to the short change. The Beacons can get those defensemen off. I think Endicott's going to call their timeout here. Remember, John, this game could be a one-goal game, so this is maybe a bit of a cautious timeout, but still, maybe Andrew McPhee didn't like the fact that it was that group against the Beacons top line, or maybe he just sensed they were too tired. So we'll see what both of these coaches draw up. It's going to be Morissette in the faceoff for UMass Boston, and we'll see which group Andrew McPhee sends out there after the timeout.
UMass Boston and Endicott, the 11th annual Codfish Bowl Invitational Tournament. Folks, keep in mind, if you want to keep up to date with the Beacons, tune in with the broadcast. Let us know where you're listening. You can always do so at UMass Beacons, whether it be any of your social media avenues, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube, at UMass Beacons online.
John, just want to tease our trivia question one more time before we get to the under 4-minute period. Remember, it's who was the MVP of the Beacons Lone Codfish Bowl Championship and who were the two goal scorers.
Morissette in front, good save, the puck is loose. What a save on the second chance opportunity from Janssen, as diving over, I believe, was Bianchini, and somehow Janssen made the denial.
Well, that was definitely Bianchini there on the edge. Rachel Myatt made an incredible save about 5 minutes ago in terms of game time, and Janssen's save was nearly as good. Both of these goaltenders making some huge stops.
That one right in front, and a quick snapshot wide of the net from number 26, Jillian Gibbs. She had half the net open.
Yeah, Gibbs there. Again, the Beacons leaving a player wide open in the slot. UMass Boston fortunate.
Gibbs in front, swatted away smartly by Mayette with Meyer on the other side. Meyer tries to send it in front. Knocked down, can't get it out. And now the Beacons can. Here's Morissette. She does not have numbers, sends it off the sideboards, and essentially it's sent out of play, I believe. Yes, as this one comes out of play off of Brett Kellis. And with 5:09 to go, still 0-0.
So, John, I'm going to give you a hint. It was a 2-0 win for UMass Boston in the championship game. So that might help you with what position our MVP played.
Okay, yeah, see, I thought that only because you alluded that none of the goal scorers were the MVP. So I'm going to assume it's the goalie. Now,
and the goal scorer had one season where she was a prolific goal scorer and was named to an all-region team. So those are two big hints if you can remember back that far. That's a lot of stuff that's probably gone in and out of your mind. So we'll give you
honestly, yeah, I mean,
we'll get your answers at the next whistle, then we'll give you the answer overall.
All right, as this one comes out of the zone, Fisher has to head back in, backhands it around the end boards. I have so many players in my mind, but I don't think that they played that long ago. Transfers and such, as this is poked away, but keeping it in the zone for the moment was Endicott. And eventually it is going to be Erica Lunn who just is going to try and get it out. And a little help from Gallucci, she does. Beacons try to move forward. Now they do. As King has it. Backhand Lunn takes the shot. Blocked down right in front there by McNamara. King now has an opening, but no one's screening the netminder Videla Janssen. She kicks it away. This third line, as you said and mentioned to Coach Berman, has really been aggressive today, and they've looked good.
Well, Erica Lunn has never seen a shot she doesn't like, and she's been able to get quite a few of them off today, including 2 or 3 really good scoring opportunities.
McNamara got the feed from Lustenring, but couldn't settle it down. Now the Beacons have numbers as the Gulls were going for a line change. Fisher skates it all the way in. Grace back towards Lunn. Lunn has Nolan, but she tumbled down. And instead now coming the other way is Bazona. She sets up an opportunity for Jones. Jones tries to go right back to Bazona. A chance, save! What a great save again! Sprawling out by Rachel Mayette and then backhanded out of harm's way.
Fisher is gassed right now. Grace was very slow to get down the ice. Beacons team needs to get to the end of this second period.
Well, they'll get a chance to at least get both Fisher and Gallucci off the ice as that shot is wide by Nolan. Peacock, Nolan, and now Beauregard down there. The new blue liners are Gallucci and Drill as this is sent down into the corner. No icing as Drill will get there first. 3:15 to go, second period, still 0-0. And this the 11th Codfish Bowl title. Coming on in, great pass there to the far side as Hughes found Leo, but Leo could not get a shot away.
Beacons team is playing with fire. Way too many players left open in front, and UMass Boston has had to rely a bit too much on Rachel Mayette right now.
Farragher sends it all the way deep. Chased after by Gallucci. She gets there before Leo. Knocking down the forward, Hughes, was the defender. Who else? Jane Andrill. That one's right in front, knocked down by Peacock. Smartly just swatted out of the net mouth. Now taken in on the far side by Klein. Drops it back to the point. There's a quick snapshot there by Farragher. Blocked down in front by Nolan. Still in their own zone as the Beacons, as Seth said, have been pinned back a little bit here in the last 10 minutes. Beauregard couldn't clear. It's backhanded around the end boards by Maeve Moynihan, and now behind the net. This one deflected out of play mercifully, and because it was a deflection, they're still going to say it's going to be in the Beacon zone.
All right, so let's take a look right now at the trivia answer. Before we do, though, Gigi Braga, so don't look at the answer, John. Who was your guess?
See, I don't have a great one. I'm going to say, for a goal scorer, I'm just going to throw out there Kat Armstrong, only because that's the only person that's popping into my head that would have been on that team. But it's not correct. So.
And your MVP?
No idea.
Okay, well, you're off on both. Casey Scheibe, 29 saves in
and
that
Sam
shutout
Fallon.
win.
Wow.
Samantha Fallon and Jess Salisbury was the sort of random goal scorer. Didn't score many goals in her career, but the senior added a late goal to make it 2-0.
I knew I'd be punching myself when I didn't get the MVP, but actually I'm punching myself more by not getting Samantha Fallon. She was very good for a while for the Beacons, and Casey Scheibe, you know what? I completely forgot about Scheibe and her integral skills back there in 13-14. Beacons in the offensive zone right now trying to get an integral first goal, but not so much. Seth will be heading down to talk to Coach Berman. We hope without the Beacons having given up anything. Still 90 seconds to go as this one is knocked down on the near side. Farger sends it behind the net. Casey Scheibe, wow. Wonder what she's up to right now as she was a great goaltender for the Beacons. Jess Salisbury, I really don't remember a whole lot about, as Seth said, not a big-time scorer at the time. And that was my first year on Beaconville. It's a good question, though. Good trivia question. It's hard to think about an answer to that as broadcasting, so I'm just going to chalk it up to that. Maybe if I'd gotten the question an hour beforehand. Behind the net, Emily Harris now gets it. Beacons with 52 seconds to go, trying to make something happen here. And this one comes out towards neutral ice as Bianchini gets there first. Allie gets it poked away. Not a great turnover as that one is sent in on the net, but a good save by Mayette on McNamara. 30 seconds to go, still 0-0. John Scooters here with Seth Orensky as Seth has gone down to interview Coach Berman after the period. Beacons hoping to not get another bad penalty late in this second period as they did in the first, but they killed that penalty off, and there's Jane Andrill who got the only penalty of this game. There's only been one penalty, and it was that holding call on Drill with 3 seconds left in the first. Now Morissette with only 7 seconds left skates it out. And barring the incredible, the Beacons and the Gulls, well, they are tied up at 0 after 2 periods of play. So how about that? Coming into this game, you thought, these two teams that know how to score, but it's two teams who know how to defend right now, as with just 20 minutes to go in regulation time, the Beacons and the Endicott College Gulls tied up at 0. Without further ado, we'll send it down to Seth Orensky as he is waiting down low to interview Coach Lindsey Berman. The Beacons have to like what they've seen from the defense today. We'll see what Coach Berman liked as Seth is down there with her.
Joined by head coach Lindsey Berman. Coach, Rachel Myatt's made some big saves. How big of a save was that kick save, or how good of a save was that kick save midway through the period?
That was one of the best I've ever seen from her, and maybe one of the best that Division III college hockey has ever seen. Thank God she got that leg over.
Period of the long change is always tough. It seemed like Endicott had a little bit more juice in their skates. How do you adjust in the third period? Maybe some shorter shifts, or maybe just sending maybe some different lines out there at different points?
Shorter shifts for sure, especially on day 2. But the second period always brings some weird stuff with the long change for both teams. But I thought we played really well, so hopefully we can bury one now.
My guess going in was you were going to send a lot of traffic in front of Janssen because she's been so good this year. You did that a lot in the first period, not so much in the second. How do you refocus the group in the third?
We just have to go back to it. I thought our shot selection was weak too. We put a lot right into her stomach, and she's too good of a goalie to let her rebound out for that. So we just have to go back to better shot selection and more traffic, and all it takes is a little bit of grit.
Thanks so much, Coach. 0-0 through 40 minutes. We'll see if we have a golden goal in that third. Right now, we'll head back up top, take a look at some highlights, and then we'll have an interview with a commissioner of 2 different conferences after these highlights.
Thank you, Seth, as Coach Berman obviously raining praises on her netminder, Rachel Myatt, and for good reason. Rachel, a key reason the Beacons are still in this one after 2 periods. It's 0-0. So we're going to take a quick break. As Seth said, take a look at the women's hockey locker room reveal. A lot of changes going on around Beaconville this year, and one of the big changes was improvements done to the women's locker room here, and why not? These programs, both the men's and the women's, are outstanding. They should all have state-of-the-art locker rooms. Let's go to a break here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
In all honesty, it was more than I was expecting. It's beautiful, a job well done by all the staff here, and I think our team really worked for it by doing the fundraising and the work ethic on the ice, and I think everyone was really pleased, and it's great to finally be in here.
Well, I've been here for a really long time, 3 years. This is my 4th year, and coming into the locker room, I was just excited to see a new setup, and everyone was really excited. We've been working really hard in preseason, and this was just something we were all looking forward to, and it was just really exciting for everyone.
I think we'll feel more as a team. We all have new stuff. Pretty excited. There's a lot more space, so we're not all on top of each other. We got Netflix on the TV over here, so I don't know. I think it'll just be an overall new environment, and we'll have a new attitude.
For me, and I think everyone in general, a good facility is something everyone looks for. So this is really going to help us recruiting-wise, I think. And I mean, it's beautiful, so I would want to go here if I wasn't here.
Well, it's just more motivation for myself to see how much we've accomplished in the past, and for the newcomers to see what this team has and what we've done in the past and how much we can accomplish in the future.
I mean, in general, the locker room is the place we all come together. We all bond in here. It doesn't matter what it looks like. I mean, it's gorgeous in here. I think everyone's going to want to spend more time in here. And I mean, the pictures up on the wall are really motivating. You know, it shows us winning our conference, and we want that again. So seeing that every day and having to look at that every day is just a reminder of how much we really want it.
Okay, well, I'm so happy you guys are in here. I literally could not hold this in any longer. So that's it. All right. Thank you.
Welcome back here to the Intermission Report. John Scudder's with you, and for the first time in, I think, 2 years, we'll have Katie Boldvich, the commissioner not only of the New England Hockey Conference, but also the Colonial Hockey Conference here on the Intermission Report. First of all, Katie, good to see you again.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, you made your way here for the Codfish Bowl Championship for good reason. You have 2 teams in this one. I asked you off the air who you're rooting for. You said no injuries, a great game. Right now, we are getting a great one.
Awesome game. I mean, the second period was just amazing defensive efforts by both teams and great goaltending performances. lucky to watch a lot of great goaltending in both leagues, and I think we saw two of the best in New England really battling away at different ends of the ice. So excited for what the third period has in store.
Yeah, as are we. Now, not only a commissioner of one conference, but multiple conferences. Do you see the same issues arise with both conferences? Is it kind of the similar job, or are there different details between each different conference?
Yeah, each one's a little bit different. I mean, the New England Hockey Conference is unique because we have both the men and the women components, which makes it fun, and getting to see a lot of men's hockey too, which is great. But you can certainly draw on different issues or, hurdles that you face for both, and of course different sizes and those kinds of things are going to present different challenges, but it's fun. My job's different every day. Certainly can't complain.
What are the biggest challenges that being a commissioner of a college hockey conference entail? I mean, I'm thinking of travel issues, logistical issues, but I'm not sure the exact problems you might be having.
Yeah, I mean, scheduling is always difficult, and then of course we went through some major changes, both leagues actually, but really the New England Hockey Conference I think had the most, just with the departure of some longtime members in St. A's and St. Michael's, and then looking to bring some new members in and really strengthening that league. So the men are looking great. We've got Hobart in this year, which has been a great addition, and then welcoming Johnson Wales and Suffolk for next year for both the men and the women will be phenomenal. So just continuing to looking to grow, monitoring the growth of women's hockey as a whole. I mean, we've seen such a spike, I think, in women's hockey, especially in New England. So keeping your ear to the ground, making sure you're ahead of the curve on some of these new programs looking to add, and just trying to stay up with it all, I guess.
Yeah, nonstop evolution in the NEHC continues. Now, the last time we spoke to you, the NEHC with the Beacons was brand new. It was really evolving as the days went on. And now here we are, a couple of years later, and the NEHC is one of the best conferences, not only in the region, but in the country at the D3 level. And I'm going to credit you for that, not necessarily the players. I'm going to credit the commissioner of the NEHC for that. But how fun has it been, taking over the NEHC and allowing it to grow under your tutelage?
Oh, it's been awesome, and it's been so great to watch the league grow as a whole. I'll be so bold to say it is the best conference in all of Division III hockey, but of course I will. But yeah, it's great. I mean, adding Hobart, I think, really elevated the league as a whole. Again, I keep bringing it up, but their addition, I'm excited to watch this team, especially the last month here and then going into the second half. I'm hopeful we get two teams in the tournament this year, and then, of course, on the women's side, they've been fun. We've got the #1 team in the country right now in Norwich. UMass gave them a game just a few weeks ago. So it's great. It's fun to watch, and I'm looking forward to see where we go from here for certain.
Yeah, absolutely. You said Hobart. I mean, their addition is huge. They are one of the top teams in the country, and for good reason. We saw them play our men's team a couple of weeks ago, and it was an absolute dandy. Now, what's the future here? You think you might pick up another conference or two, or is it only the two that you're commissioner of, or are there like 4 or 5 that you're?
2 hockeys, and then I have a single sport football conference, women's rugby, and then rowing. So, yeah.
You count them all on one hand. We'll see. You think maybe that's it, or are you going to try, if they offer it, you might take on more?
No, I think I'm pretty good. I'm tapped out as of now.
I don't blame you. I can barely manage broadcasting for 3 or 4 teams. I can't imagine being a commissioner of multiple conferences. But Katie Boldrich, thank you so much for joining us
having me
on the Intermission Report. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll show you the intermission statistics here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Awesome.
I'm Alexa Capion. I'm from Messina, New York. I'm a junior on the women's ice hockey team, and I'm an exercise health science major. But when I got here, I met Coach Harris, and I saw the facility, and I met a couple of the girls on the team, and I pretty much got a feel of the program, and I knew right away that this is where I wanted to go to school. We have all league games for the rest of the year, so that's going to be a huge test for us. We need those points to hopefully come out with a good standing for playoffs. A couple of highlights from the last couple of years I've been playing was probably last year when we won our first Codfish Bowl. We made history that year. I was really excited to be part of that. I don't have very many goals, but when I do score, it's definitely a big deal.
That's a goal.
For the past 3 years, we've had Emily. She is a member of the Team Impact program, and that's for children with illnesses that want to be part of a collegiate program. She's great. She comes and watches all of our games. She has her own jersey. She has her own stick. We've got her all this equipment. It's really awesome to have. She gives us a lot of motivation, and she comes in the locker room and talks to us before games, and it's really cool to have her here and be part of our team. When I graduate, I definitely want to go to graduate school. most likely for either athletic training or physical therapy. Our trainers here have definitely given me an insight about what it takes to be an athletic trainer. They're always on top of everything. They always know how to help us and what to do and what not to do. They're always there for us when we need them, and that's given me a lot of help with what I could be doing after I graduate, so that's nice to have them.
Welcome back to the second period intermission show, brought to you by Current Solutions Electric. With over 20 years of experience, Current Solutions Electric is more than just an electrical and telecommunications contracting company. Current Solutions provides a total project management approach tailored to each and every client. And Seth, as we take a look at our second period intermission statistics, that period clearly dominated the 17-shot-to-6 advantage by Endicott.
17-6 in favor of shots. The Beacons did help themselves winning the face-offs. UMass Boston had won just 6 in the first period, so they took an 11-3 edge in the face-offs, which is big when you're taking a lot of defensive zone face-offs. Again, being disciplined was one of the big things. The Beacons, just the one penalty that came with the second left in the first period. This third period, UMass Boston is going to have to be effective in clearing the zone, not turning the puck over, have to make sure they get off those tired defensemen, and again, shot selection is big. You got to get traffic in front, and when you're in close, you can't hit the body. The body's going to be an easy save for Janssen. You have to test the glove or try to go short side. See if you can really put some pressure on her, because Rachel Myatt has kept you in the game this long, but at some point, if she keeps seeing 15 shots in this third period, inevitably one of those is going to go in, and it's not going to be on Rachel. It's going to be on the rest of the team for leaving her out to dry.
Absolutely. The second period statistics are brought to you by the Mutual Beef Company. Are you hosting a tailgate or barbecue? Head down to Mutual Beef Company's Butcher Shop in Roxbury for the finest available meats. Let's look around Beaconville here on the intermission report, and not much to update for you at this time, although the men's hockey team has extended their lead over Bowdoin to 4-0 in the third period. That is going to be a big win for the top 10 Beacons men's hockey team, as they will continue to cruise here early on in the campaign. As Katie Boldvich, who I mentioned, you mentioned and we mentioned on the broadcast, commissioner of both of these conferences, I asked her who you're rooting for here. I mean, it's a win-win for you. She did the diplomatic thing, said no injuries and a good game, and right now we're getting a good one.
We're getting a great game. That men's hockey team on their way to a championship. They'll be part of a great doubleheader next weekend. Women's hockey will take on Johnson and Wales. UMass Boston will take on rival Babson as part of that home and home. Should be a battle for first place. The Beacons currently sit in first in the NAHC on the men's side, up by a point on Babson. The women's team in second. And while we've got a chance, let's look ahead right now for UMass Boston. They're going to continue this non-conference trip, or this non-conference stretch. They've already played 2 in a row. They'll play a couple more. And they've got some tough games going forward. This is going to be a really good stretch of games, John, with the NEHC down a little bit this year on the women's side because of some teams leaving the conference. Manhattanville, certainly the biggest loss from last year. UMass Boston needs some difficult out-of-conference challenges to get them ready for Norwich. I don't want to look too far ahead, but if UMass Boston can do what they're supposed to do, finish in the top 3, win a quarterfinal game, win a semifinal game, go into a game against Norwich, you have to have some tests. Otherwise, you're not going to be prepared, especially if it's played on the big sheet of ice up at Kreitzberg Arena.
Let's take a look around the NEHC on this NEHC scoreboard update. And just 2 games going on today, and they're both finals. Amherst triumphed over New England College 8-1, and Salem State and New England tied at 0. We are just 2 minutes away, so let's take a look at highlights of the second period. Here on the intermission show.
Going to see quite a few saves. Not being able to see the rundown, but it's going to be pretty obvious what we're going to be seeing, and we'll take a look at it right now. I mean, you saw a couple great ones from Myatt, and then Janssen made one really good one with about 6 minutes to go in the period. There's the early one from Myatt. The big one was on the rush. Here's an in-tight save and able to knock that down, and then a third chance coming in late. So UMass Boston had a couple nervy moments really towards the last 12 minutes of the period. There's a shot from in tight, another nice save from Myatt. And here's the great pass that led to a player wide open in the slot, and you see Myatt able to stretch across with the right leg. One of the best saves I've ever seen. And here's the Beacons coming back. A good chance for Jane Morris set. Puck was loose, Bianchini dove after it, but Janssen doing a nice job of diving to her right with some lateral motion. And then laid on again, Endicott winning some of those foot races in front of the goal mouth, and the Beacons getting another big stop from their senior netminder. This is Myatt's last chance to win a Codfish. This is this entire senior class's last chance. UMass Boston has made it to the championship game 9 straight years. They've won it just one time overall, and that was back in 2014. So chance for this Beacons group to come away with some history. They've already won an NEHC tournament title together as a class. They'd love to add a title in their own tournament.
As always, want to thank our sponsor for today's broadcast, that being Applebee's. As UMass Boston comes out to get ready for this one. Morissette will take the face-off. Will be 5-on-5. Morissette against Leo. And Leo wins it back with a little help from Lexi Klein. That one shot up into the air, knocked down by the glove of Klein, and she's over the blue line and in as this one's poked away by Gallucci. Klein sends it far side for Leo. Leo tried to go right back to Maddie, but instead it's Bianchini who's able to clear. Caroline Hughes going down low, looking for Leo, but missed the mark on that one. Gallucci cannot clear as Hughes keeps it in behind the net. Lexi Klein lost it to Grace Fisher, who poked it towards Bianchini and sent it around the end boards for Gallucci. And this one gets to neutral ice.
And John, one of the things that Lindsey Berman said to me off air was the fact the Beacons defensemen maybe need to be a little less aggressive offensively so that they can make sure that they're back. UMass Boston's going to have to rely a little bit more on their forwards here in this third period.
Jade Meyer coming on in. Good save by Mayette as that's a shot from Bianchini from the top of the circle. It whistles wide. 19 minutes to go in regulation time. No score. John Skudras along with Seth Orensky. This is the Beacons Broadcasting Network production of the 11th annual Codfish Bowl title. Beacons looking for their second Codfish Bowl championship as their first since 2014. Brie Colucci hit a divot and went down, but luckily her partner in crime, Julia Nolan, was there. Beauregard, a bit of a lazy clearance effort there, but that one sails wide of the net. Coming on over to clean up will be Colucci. Bree gets it out of the zone, kicked a Peacock over to Beauregard. Kaylee's going to be taken into the boards a bit there as Peacock sends it in. That was Ring applying the pressure to Beauregard. Sarah King looking to find the puck. Instead, it is cleared out to neutral ice, where it is taken and moved forward by Rachel Lustenring. Lustenring fighting for it, sends it in front as she was looking to connect, and a great save made on a quick snap from Tennille Perry after the puck was kicked to Perry by McNamara.
Good initial play by Ariel Gallucci getting in the passing lane, but she's got to get that puck off her stick faster. Her roommate, Rachel Myatt, bailing her out on that one as the shot was pretty soft there. Another easy glove save. The good news for the Beacons is that Rachel Myatt is seeing the puck so well tonight. She's moved well. The glove has been there, and Myatt is having one of her best games of the season, looking to go 2-0 on the weekend.
That one sent behind the net off the face-off win by King. And the Beacons have possession. Jetter D-to-D for Gallucci. Again, the Beacons only playing with 5 defenders this weekend, and yet they've only given up 1 goal so far. Doing a great job, and of course a lot of that credit has to go to the woman you just mentioned, Rachel Myatt, as there's another penalty on UMass Boston, and that's hooking on Ariel, well, let's see, Marin Brown, or is it going to be King? It looks like King's going to get the call.
Yeah, it's huge that it is a forward. And John, the first penalty on the Beacons was Jane Ann Drill. UMass Boston can't afford to have defensemen take penalties because that means you have 4 players out there playing the entire 2 minutes who are already tired. So it's not good to be on the penalty kill, but at least it was one of their forwards rather than a defenseman.
It was the captain, Marin Brown, in fact, as she hooked to the forward from behind. It's 2 minutes. Only 2 penalties in this game. That's the second. And as that one's right in front as it whistles by the stick of McNamara on a nice feed there from Meyer. Right in front, poke check from Mayette. McNamara got tied up. The puck is still loose in front. It's poked towards Mayette, and she has this one covered with 1:38 to go.
Yeah, you got to blow the whistle there a little bit earlier. I know the referee had a much better angle than us, but there's a sea of bodies in the crease there, and Mayette was on top of it, and that's just a player safety issue. John, as Matt loves to say, our normal color commentator, your goalie has to be your best player on the PK, and right now, I think we're going to see Rachel might have to make another 1 or 2 good saves over this next minute 30 to kill off this Endicott power play.
Carter's shot blocked down in front. Trying to get a deflection there was McNamara. Still the top power play unit. D&D Carter. Quick whistling shot as that one sails through the net mouth. Backhanded back behind the netting there by Jillian Gibbs. Carter, the 5'11 defender, back to the far side. Quick snapshot from Meyer. And a good glove save again by Rachel Mayette.
A little bit different look for Endicott here on their second power play. So in the first period, all 5 players were out wide. They were just trying to move the puck well rather than get anyone in front of Maya. At least to start this second power play, they've at least put one body in front of Rachel.
Lexi Klein's blast from the point was blocked and sent wide. 70 seconds to go on the power play, and wow, that's a break as that one gets out on the clearance effort by Gallucci and all the way down.
Yeah, it was necessary to get it out. UMass Boston got fortunate because Gallucci got very little on it, and it just appeared as if Alexa Pretkilis just completely whiffed as she tried to get the glove down.
Now entering into the zone, sending it behind the net, Maddie Leo. Taken in by Drill, gets it poked away from her as she tried to send it up the sideboards. Here's Caroline Hughes, turns it back behind the net. Drill loses it to Hughes. That one from a tough angle. Knocked down in front. Pick still loose. Morissette trying to get it out. She can't. And then that's picked off. Here comes Jane Morissette. A breakaway. Shorthanded. And that one is sent wide of the net on the backhand from Morissette.
Just couldn't handle the puck well enough there. Lost it as she was coming in. Pushed her further out wide. Couldn't get anything behind it.
That one sticked away off the shot from Leo. 10 seconds to go. At the very least, Beacons should be able to kill it off as that one is cleared. And so, for all intents and purposes, with 3 seconds left, coming all the way around is Klein. And then with the last chance shot, that one waffle boarded away. Power play is over. Beacons 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. Those are the only 2 penalties of the game. Beacons have yet to see a penalty called on Endicott, and maybe that's a large reason why they have a 100% penalty kill. They don't take many.
Yeah, just 6 penalty minutes a game. John, that was one of the 2 Beacons you really want to see have a shorthanded chance like that. Both Jane Morissette and Kaylee Beauregard have scored shorthanded this year. And I think if Jane could get that back, she maybe would just do a little bit less in terms of stick handling. She was out ahead of the last defender, so she didn't have to worry about necessarily being caught. And now see if the Beacons are called there. An Endicott player loses her stick. Unfortunately, the Beacons aren't called for slashing.
From the far side with possession, Lustenring over the blue line and in. Beauregard poked it away with a little help from Nolan. Nolan now fighting for it with 2 Endicott goals, but instead it's backhanded by Jetter, unable to connect with Colucci. Still loose stick down there in the Beacons defensive zone as Nolan backhands it towards Peacock. 5-on-5 even strength, and then Colucci's just like, get out of here with that stick, and swats it all the way towards the referee, who will get it off the ice. As this one is kept in the attacking zone for the Gulls, but not on the second chance as that one is cleared and the Beacons get a line change. 14-18 to go. Still no score between the Gulls and the Beacons. The next one could be the winner. Behind the net, Gallucci. She got tied up by a couple of Gulls. Turns that one over to Leo, but second chance defensive opportunity gets it away from her. King turns it over, taken back behind the net, siphoned around by Hughes. And the Beacons unable to clear as Carter keeps it in, sends it in, deflected off the stick of Gallucci. Right back to Carter, kick save and a beaut by the netminder Rachel Mayette. And coming back the other way now, Sarah King.
Who else? It's the third line.
Right you are, as King loses that one. Beacons trying to keep it in. Marin Brown gets there, just sends it towards the net, but it's knocked down in front by Carter. And now here come the Gulls the other way as the Beacons get the fourth line out there. Moritz along with Lund and Leffler. Here is Lund. Katie Barry actually out there right now for the Beacons as that one is sent in. Good save, and then that one was a knuckler that gave Janssen a little bit of a fit, and she covered up.
I don't know what Katie Barry did in the offseason, but she has looked better than she's ever looked before. A player who's seen time every single season as a fourth liner, but this season she's had a bit of a goal-scoring touch, and even on that play, what looked like a relatively innocuous shot, she gave Janssen some fits.
Jane Andrill's shot is knocked down by McNamara. Michaela will clear off the sideboards. It's kicked away a little bit by Lustenring and then sent all the way in for a line change by Holly Irby. 13 minutes to go. Third period of play. Still no score as this one is sent behind the net. Knocked down there as Lustenring fights for it one-on-one. with Grace Fisher. With a little help from Moritz, the Beacons get it. Here's Drill. Nice kick to her stick by Drill, but they lose it. And the first to get there, luckily for the Beacons, is Leffler, fresh off the bench. Johnny on the spot, Katie Leffler. Ooh, a dangerous pass cross ice, but it got through to Grace Fisher. Fisher over the blue line, siphons it around, careening towards the net as it hits off a stanchion. Barry was the first one to come near it, but instead it's taken and moved out of harm's way by Farragher. And now coming on up with it is Ashley Jones. Jones down low, she's got Bozzona, as well as McDowell. But instead it's taken away and moved out of harm's way by Jeter as Leffler hands things off to Barry and goes for a change. 12:08 to go. Barry sends it in. The Beacons will get the top line out there. And that connection from McDowell to London Ring is instead intercepted and sent all the way down. Behind the net for Carter. Carter off the sideboards, connecting there with Meyer, but Jade couldn't get it. And then eventually it is intercepted by Morissette. And then she gets it to Harris. Nice dangles. Harris a shot. And that one was deflected. And the bouncing puck swatted away by the netminder Janssen.
But this has been a good job by UMass Boston getting some players on and off the ice and keeping Endicott pinned into their own zone.
11:30 to go, third period action. That is not icing as Carter gets there first. Keeping it in is Colucci. Bree fires that one wide of the net. Not even close as this one careens off the end boards. Peacock, fresh off the bench, could not settle it down and instead coming the other way. Callie Chase as she was looking to connect with Klein. Lexi couldn't settle it down, and that is icing on Endicott College.
UMass Boston fortunate they were changing both of their defensemen, a little bit slow to get back on the ice. And Beauregard did a nice job helping out to help make sure that would be an icing. The second line hasn't generated a ton today. Let's see if Julian Nolan can win a face-off. Maybe find Beauregard with the quick shot on the right side, or Peacock swerveling around.
Face-off won by Endicott. Now here's a chance for a break for Endicott. Jillian Gibbs tied up. Good defensive play by Gallucci not to cause a penalty right in front, and the Beacons are able to tiptoe their way out of danger as Meyer was waiting for one. Instead, however, we will get a penalty, and the Beacons will go shorthanded for the third time.
They're going to call Peacock there. Lindsey Berman can't believe it. I think that was a pretty soft call, as it was a very impressive play by Ariel Gallucci to start there, somehow avoiding being called for hooking on the turnover. The Beacons won the faceoff, tried to get it over to Beauregard. This player out in front, Gallucci does enough there to slow down the play but not be called for the penalty, and then I think they got Peacock for holding the stick. So the third penalty kill today for this Beacons unit.
Face-off won by UMass Boston, and they cannot clear. That is not a great clearance effort there by Drill. The Beacons have to get it out, deflected by Drill, away from the stick of Leo. Top unit out here for both teams. Morissette applying pressure. She had a shorthanded chance moments ago. There's a shot and a save. Rebound is loose, and it's sent back to the point. Off the initial shot from Hughes, as tumbling into the defender was Morissette. And kept in here. Here's Hughes, rather. Caroline Hughes thinking of going back to the point. She does for Pritkellis. Pritkellis connecting there with Klein. A shot blocked down in front. Rebound is loose, and a great block by Colucci, who put her body before herself and made the save there with 10 minutes to go.
Beacons have had 2 chances to clear, 0 for 2 thus far. Need to get it out right now.
And they do. Right on the dot as this one is sent all the way down, and the Beacons get 5 new skaters, rather 4.
Yeah, that'd be another penalty in itself right there.
Let's not tempt fate, as here coming the other way with possession is McNamara. Nice dangle attempt, but a good play by Gallucci to knock it down with her skate and clear it. Now just 48 seconds to go. 9:30 to go in regulation. McNamara over the blue line, and a great play by Beauregard. Alert on the puck as she dumps this one down.
Well, this Beacons defense has done a really nice job on the penalty kill thus far, getting their sticks in the way, and Endicott's trying to skate the puck into the zone, skate the puck towards the net. The Beacons are not allowing them to do so.
Carter over the blue line, trying to do it her lonesome in, and then she lost possession right in front. There's a chance it's loose. Mayette lost it, still loose in front, and Rachel moves to her left to kick it away. Rachel Mayette is a brick wall, and that puck is a beach ball to her here in the third period.
John, I'm not giving away anything, whichever team wins, the goalie's going to be the MVP. Both of these goalies have been phenomenal throughout this tournament.
Beacons trying to kill it off. They have. The power play is over as out onto the bench, off the bench and onto the ice is Peacock, but Rachel tumbled down. We hope we don't have that on film as 8:38 to go. Behind the net, here is a chance for Gallucci to take control. She gets it D to D for Jetter, who lets it go through. Harris trying to clear. Didn't get it on the first try, does on the second. And this one is going to be sent D to D, taken in here by Irby. Gallucci backhand. Nice play defensively to keep it in by Tennille Perry. And now a chance from Irby. A shot, deflection in front, and just getting a piece of it was Mayette with Ashley Jones bearing down.
Beacons are getting too complacent on these clearances. You can't just get the puck out past the blue line. You have to have a plan as well.
Tumbling into the boards was Fisher. That's a turnover. Coming back is Hughes. A quick shot, a high riser over the net and over the glove of Mayette as Fisher's taken into the boards. Beacons have a delayed penalty coming up.
That should be a second one right there. I don't think they're going to call it, but getting taken down at her own blue line was king. You rarely see double penalties called on the same play, but now the Beacons get their chance. They've been outplayed, not thoroughly outplayed, but certainly outplayed for the past 20, maybe 25 minutes. You're not going to get many chances. The power play has struggled this year for the most part. Here's a chance to really give yourself a ton of confidence. It's going to be Edie Moritz going to the net, putting pressure on Vendela Janssen. And remember, Janssen hasn't seen the puck much at all in this third period. That could actually be to her detriment.
Face-off won by the Beacons, but it got through Drill. The Beacons have Moritz, Bianchini, Harris, Drill, and Morissette. 2-minute minor. And the Beacons with their first power play of the day, averaging about a 12.5 clip on the season, 100% penalty kill for the visiting Gulls. Behind the net is Morissette, coming back to the point for Drill. Drill setting up the umbrella here, strong to the far side. There's a one-time blast as Morissette's shot sails high and wide. Beacons will keep it in. Jane Ann Drill, native of Madison, Wisconsin, connecting with Harris, and that one somehow seen by Vendela Johnson, who made a blind save there.
I don't know how she did. I almost had the same exact angle as Emily from up here, and I couldn't see Janssen's eyes. Very impressive there. Great patience from Jane Ann Drill. She's got a great shot. She's a player the Beacons want to take that shot, but instead of letting the defense set up in front, making sure it wouldn't get through, she moved the defense by giving up the pass, and both times the Beacons had good looks.
Great play by Nolan to keep it in. Far side for Colucci. Nolan and Colucci at the point. Colucci shot deflected in front, and a beautiful adjustment and save by Vendela Janssen as this one is cleared into the bench.
3 great looks on this power play. Probably the Beacons' best 3 shots of the period. That was a phenomenal job of waiting. The Beacons had a couple bodies in front. Could have been Peacock, might have been Beauregard. Either way, another great save from Janssen. It's amazing. You don't see the puck for 10, 15 minutes, and then you make a couple of those huge saves.
It's called poise as this one is won by the Gulls and cleared. Same blue liners out there. Same 5 for the Beacons. It's the captain, Marin Brown, Kaylee Beauregard, Rachel Peacock, who just dangled and lost the puck, and Colucci and Nolan. Here's Peacock, 52 seconds left on the 2-minute minor. Still no score in this, the Codfish Bowl Championship. And Marin Brown overskates the defender and gets in. Beacons are in the zone with 42 seconds left. There's a shot, Beauregard, and that one almost handcuffed Janssen, but another good save by Janssen.
Yeah, that's a player you like taking that shot, though. Beauregard so dangerous from the circle. Now the top unit's going to be out there. First you have to win the face-off. I want to do that exact same setup, though. Give the puck to Drill, give her the option of passing or shooting, and see what Endicott does. They gave her a ton of space the first time around.
Moritz wins that face-off. Back to Morissette. Little snapper trying to get it in front for Moritz's deflection, but unable to make it through the screen of sticks. Back to the point, 27 seconds left. Drill skating into the slot. She's got a shooting lane save. Rebound is loose, and that one sent up and over the net by Morissette. What an opportunity by both Drill and Morissette. Bianchini wants a chance. That's knocked down in front as the shot went right in on Moritz. 10 seconds left on what has been a solid power play for the Beacons. Drill skating in again. Far side for Morissette from the dot as that one is knocked down before making its way through. And the power play is over. A solid one, though, for the Beacons as it makes its way all the way to neutral ice.
So the Beacons have had 2 penalty kills. Now a good power play where they weren't able to score. Momentum may be shifting UMass Boston's way.
Drill able to kick that puck to her stick, and now she's over the blue line. 5.5 to go, third period of play. as the Beacons get fresh legs out there. Marin Brown leads the third unit as King, Brown, and just onto the ice, Katie Jeter along with Lunn and Colucci. Cross ice pass off the mark as Marin Brown will be the beneficiary, but her chance to send it behind the net's intercepted by Leo. And eventually Caroline Hughes turns it over to Erica Lunn. No one was home at the point, and so for Lexi Klein, that's an easy outlet as she'll blast this one wide of the net. Sending it around the boards is Caroline Hughes, taken in here and backhanded by Marin Brown, but it's poked out towards King, and then a dangerous cross-ice feast for Lunn makes its way to the red line. Sent all the way back into the zone. Lunn just trying to keep it away from the offensive players of the Gulls, and then Marin Brown will send this one in on net, a bouncing puck through the net mouth. 4:28 to go. Along with Seth Orensky, I'm John Skudras. Beacons and the Gulls of Endicott, no score here in the 11th annual Codfish Bowl title. Beacons looking for their first title since 2014 and second ever in the 11 years. Meanwhile, Endicott's only been in this tournament one other time. They were 1-1, winning the consolation game in 2016, but of course no championships in this tournament for Endicott. Fisher trying to get it into the zone. Unable to do so as this one is underneath one of the players. That was McDowell, Emma McDowell, but she's off the ice now with 3:51 to go. This is icing on Endicott.
Well, John, I just checked with tournament director David Wahlberg. If we end up 0-0 through the next 3:48, we will go to overtime, 15-minute break, and then we would play continuous overtime. So until we got a goal, we would not see a shootout.
So we'd have a 15-minute break, then a full overtime?
A full overtime of 20 minutes, and then if it were to still be scoreless after first, we'd go to a second. Wouldn't be the first time we've seen overtime. The Beacons haven't had a ton of luck on either side, the men's or the women's. The men's tournament has been running quite a bit longer than the women's tournament. The women's team lost in in single OT back in 2015 against Stevenson, and in overtime against Bowdoin back in 2012. So overtime might not be the best thing if you're a UMass Boston fan, especially considering how tired this Beacons group is.
Moritz will try to make that entire conversation obsolete as the Beacons are out here with 3:34 to go. Colucci shot, looking for a deflection from Edie, but Moritz couldn't get her stick on it. There's a blast from the far side by Drill, living up to her namesake, but a good save by Janssen. Chance now, Beacons knock it down. Moritz got a couple players in front, dangles to the chance, rebound, they score! Katie Berry! Katie Berry! Katie Berry, and UMass Boston leads it 1-0 with 3:16 to go in the Codfish Bowl championship game.
I picked the wrong player to watch. It was between Moritz, who started the play, and Barry, who finished it. Give the second assist to Caitlin Parent. The Beacons, a huge goal. The fourth line has looked so good throughout this weekend. And John, Rachel Myatt would likely be the MVP if the Beacons can hold on, but Katie Berry is already on the all-tournament team one way or another. She has had such a great senior season. Stands at 4'11", but she has played so well this season.
She's now got 4 goals in 9 games this year. She had only 2 in 59 games coming into this.
She's got 2 goals in 2 games this weekend.
And now a chance for the Beacons to hold on, but here's Carter coming on, she scores! Unbelievable! The first shot Mayette sees, top shelf where Mama hides the cookies, and Ellen Carter, the team leader in points for these visiting Gulls, silences the crowd and evens it up at 1.
Well, the shift after, that ugly shift after, and Carter just not giving up on the play. I mean, 3 minutes and 16 seconds is a ton of time. And now we'll see what UMass Boston can do on this shift after, because the biggest thing is you go so high, now you're a little bit low. Oh. We could easily see another goal here in regulation after 2 goals in the last 30 seconds.
Hughes behind the net, loses it. Taking it away is Klein. 2:43, plenty of time right in front. The only one there was Drill, and she sends it off the sideboards, but not out. Beacons now tied up at 1. All of that excitement, and we are tied up yet again.
Quite a few disappointed faces out in the stands. Probably even more in our production booth, as these hard workers have been here each of the past 2 days, actually some of them 3, part of a tournament-filled Thanksgiving weekend.
Beacons now into the attacking zone. Beauregard a high riser, and that one waffle boarded away. It sits up on the ledge there on the boards. And that's a break for the Beacons a bit, as it did not go ahead to the point. However, the Gulls alertly take possession and will clear and move up as Hughes gets around the pinching defender. That's Peacock, but a break for the Beacons as they needed a line change, and the Beacons will get possession. Here's Fisher.
Remember, Endicott's already used their timeout. UMass Boston still has one if we get to a late game situation with an offensive zone faceoff or an icing.
That one is going to be taken in, and Gallucci is going to take it over the blue line into the red line. She dumps it down. Carter lets it go. No icing, though, as it's waved off. Beacons get there. Beauregard pointing it back to Gallucci. Gallucci has Beauregard at the point, and that's not a good look. And luckily, nobody was streaking down for the Gulls. Jetter's the last man back. She gets there. And with 85 seconds left, she almost turns it over. She should just send this behind the net now for some help. She does. Gallucci allows this to go through. Beacons D might be a little tired playing with 5 the whole weekend, but here is Beauregard sending it in on net. Save, but the rebound is loose, and then getting tripped up, no call, was the defender, number 14, Holly Irby, as settling that one down from the blast of Beauregard was the netminder Janssen.
I don't think Janssen's feeling 100% confident right now. She's shaking her head after that play. Let the puck carry him off the boards and past her. It could have been dangerous if any Beacons were actually chasing after the puck in front.
45 seconds left, fourth line out there, but Katie Berry, who else would you rather have right now? She's the hottest offensive Beacon, and then Colucci whiffs on it. A chance coming in. Good block by Drill on the shot there from Perry. Perry tried to center it in front for McNamara, but it was knocked down by who else? Edie Moritz. Barry trying to get it out, 30 seconds to go. Losing it was Leffler, a shot wide of the net. Making contact with it with the left pad, though, was Mayette. And now Katie Barry with 20 seconds to go can clear. Leffler, she connects with Moritz. This is our player to watch. Edie Moritz trying to go through the D, pokes it through, but it's swatted away as Carter gets tripped, and the referee's whistles are silent.
Yeah, that was fortunate.
From the point, there's a blast by Drill, blocked down and wide. 3 seconds to go, and folks, we are heading to sudden death overtime here in the 11th annual Codfish Bowl Invitational Championship. What a game this has been, Seth. The Beacons, with 3 and change to go, get the Katie Berry goal. The crowd goes wild, and then Carter strikes, and we are heading to an extra extra overtime frame.
So no one knows what's going on down at the ice. This is fun to watch when the players and coaches aren't quite sure on the guidelines, as Endicott will now head off the bench. Well, you know, as a Beacons fan, it would have been really nice to just have an easy final 3-6 or 3:48, but now it really tests you. UMass Boston has had a couple ties this year. They haven't gotten that first OT winner. Last season, it was only OT wins. The sooner that this goal happens, the better for UMass Boston. Now, obviously, you'd want it to be UMass Boston's goal, but this Beacons team is tired right now. A goal early on in OT. I think you're going to see the Beacons be aggressive without being foolish. With those tired legs, you can't have those defensemen pinching too far forward because it could lead to odd man rushes. But the Beacons are really going to try to get a goal early in the first 5 minutes. What a game we've had today between two sides that there's very little that separates them, and these goalies have absolutely been the story. Janssen wasn't tested much, made a couple of phenomenal saves before giving up that goal, and Mayette, who has been unbelievably good all weekend long, finally gives up a goal. This has been a really fun Codfish Bowl tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talk about the openers yesterday, a couple of 3-1 games, but those were 1-goal games in the third period, both of them, so couldn't argue with that. And then today, a very close game between Stevenson and Wesleyan, and then this one, I mean, this is the granddaddy of them all. No score heading into the final 4 minutes. Beacon score, everybody in attendance, although there are Endicott fans to our right, thought this one was going to end, but Ellen Carter, and for good reason, she's the goal scorer, now has 11 points, 3 goals on the season, leads the team, and she leads her team along with Vendela Janssen into an overtime road battle. So it is sudden death. We'll have 15 minutes, and then we'll have 20 minutes, and if nobody scores, we'll keep going into the night until one of us falls asleep first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be falling asleep anytime soon after that finish. Right now, we'll take a look at some highlights from the women's basketball team season opener. Haven't seen them in a while. They'll be back in action at home on Tuesdays. This end of November continues to kick my butt. And then we'll be back with a look at the stats and the highlights. We've got some goals to look at from that third period. Welcome back to the Edward T. Barry Ice Rink. Knotted at ones through the first 60 minutes. Endicott College and UMass Boston will head to OT. We'll take a look at the statistics through the first three periods. Endicott dominated the stats in the second. Taking a look at the third, they outshot the Beacons 13-9, but a much closer margin than the 17-6 edge through the first two. 38 saves for Rachel Mayette. Unfortunately, couldn't make a 39th. That would have held it for UMass Boston. The Beacons scored at 16:44. Katie Barry from Edie Moritz and Caitlin Parent. Ellen Carter answered at 17:06. Just 22 seconds later, Jade Meyer and Jillian Gibbs picking up the assist. That's what sent us to overtime. Face-offs heavily in favor of UMass Boston, 27-19. Edie Moritz, 9 of 15 on the day. Jane Morris set 8 of 10. Power plays, neither team has scored. The Beacons, though, looked really good on their one opportunity. That came in the third period. UMass Boston had 4 shots. Endicott 0 for 3 with 9 shots for the game. Take a look around the rest of Beaconville. One Beacons team has won a tournament this weekend. UMass Boston women's hockey is looking to become the second. The men's hockey team finishing off Bowdoin 4-0. UMass Boston moves to 9-1 on the season, and they win the Bowdoin Colby Classic easily. Bailey McBurney with the shutout. 2 goals from Colin Larkin, 1 from Zach Frost, and 1 from Brian Carter. Women's basketball and men's basketball both back at home on Tuesday night. The women's basketball team, I believe, plays Becker. Men's basketball will take on MIT. Look around the rest of the NEHC conference. 2 finals, 2 games that probably were a lot less exciting than this one. Amherst dominating New England College 8-1. And UNE and Salem State a scoreless tie. we'll look ahead for UMass Boston. Fortunately, they're going to have a couple days off before their next game, as they'll take on Bowdoin on Friday night before taking on Johnson & Wales next Saturday. We'll have the call for you right here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. And then their final game before New Year's, that's on the 9th against Colby College. John, before we take a look at some commercials to save our voices, it's going to be very interesting in this overtime just because of the Beacons' lack of depth this weekend with just 5 defensemen. I just get the feeling the longer this game goes, the worse it's probably going to be for UMass Boston. It's going to be very interesting to see how Lindsey Berman attacks this overtime session.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to have to really strategize because, like you said, the Beacons are shorthanded. Now, they do have an extra forward. They have a parent out there who's kind of been roving between the fourth line and the other lines just out there to get extra legs. I wonder, what they're going to do with that in the overtime period because, in overtime, you don't always run all 4 lines in succession. You usually send out your best scoring lines, but
we're not going 5 minutes. We're going 20 potentially. So I think that takes some of that out of the equation. It'll be interesting either way.
You know what? That's why they don't pay me to do that. They pay me to do this. I will analyze, she will strategize, and hopefully Beacons come out on top. But that goal by Carter, I mean, you could feel the air just sucked right on out of the building.
And you know what? Before we take a commercial, let's take a look at those highlights. A lot of saves and shots early on, and then the 2 goals. We'll take maybe a couple double looks. Here's the Jane Marset one, and I think it's right on this stride here that she just outreaches it. She was probably going the backhand either way, but that took her a little wide, made it easier on Mandela Janssen. And then this is the great play by Galucci. It ends up being a penalty against the Beacons nonetheless. They get Peacock for holding the stick, but a great job to avoid the penalty box. Here's Bree Galucci, who it's difficult to differentiate between the 5 Beacons defensemen who have played so well this weekend, but I would say Galucci has been maybe the best by a slim margin, just providing a lot offensively. And then you see here the Beacons power play really just creating some great chances. Janssen with a tremendous reflex save, and we're still seeing power play chances. This is the one from Morissette. She tips just over as Janssen goes low. Easily could have been a goal if she'd gotten a couple inches lower. Moritz starts the play. Caitlin Parrott, the initial shot, and Katie Barry, the right spot at the right time, just past the glove of Janssen, but answered back 22 seconds later. Carter into the zone, and that shot just over the glove. It's difficult to see from that angle. It might have been a bit of a screen there from Katie Jeter that caused Rachel Myatt some issues.
I'm wondering if it was even deflected by either Jeter or Galucci with their sticks in the shooting lane, but I mean, that's a shot that you're going to ask Rachel, and she says, I have to make that save every time. And she's going to hopefully use that as inspiration to come on out here and play a stellar overtime period. But we will see. With that, let's go to a commercial break here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. When we come back, we will get you set for the sudden death overtime. The next goal wins the 11th annual Codfish Bowl Invitational right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Imagine yourself at one of fewer than 300 prestigious research universities in the country, located on a peninsula overlooking the Boston Harbor, just minutes from downtown Boston. Imagine what it would be like to be a student here.
I imagine myself succeeding in the business world.
I imagine taking advantage of all the clinical opportunities in Boston.
Want to go into the police force for a little bit and ultimately end up either working for the Department of Homeland Security or the Department of ICE.
I imagine studying biology, working hand in hand with the professor.
There are many reasons students are attracted to UMass Boston. Just imagine the opportunity to participate in research, live and learn in Boston, and to experience true diversity.
Our researchers have expanded the research enterprise admirably over the last decade. They have engaged in important environmental stewardship. They are at the frontiers of the life sciences and public health.
Being in Boston is a huge advantage, not just to someone like me who's a researcher, but actually to our students.
I started working for Dr. McCoska since my sophomore year, my ending sophomore year, and now I'm going to my senior year, so it's been a very nice journey.
School for the Environment is becoming really one of the premier, or if not the premier, coastal environmental sciences programs in the country. The natural laboratory is 5 minutes away for us. The undergraduates and the graduate students can jump on the T or walk out the door or drive 5 minutes and grab sediment samples and vegetation and talk to watershed associations. It's really a wonderful opportunity for our students here with this location.
UMass Boston shares the peninsula with the Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the United States Senate and the John F. Kennedy Library and Museum. Just imagine an internship with one of these organizations or a Fortune 500 company.
There's no location like UMass Boston.
It's so close to the Innovation District, the 4-Point Channel. You can just hop on the red line and get there.
I like the fact that Boston is near the water.
I was a legislative intern for Senator Elizabeth Warren in Washington, D.C. And I was there, in the Senate. It made me feel good about myself. It made me feel like I could do so much more. There's so much more out there and ahead of me.
After my internship at Ernst & Young this past summer, I was offered a full-time position to join their risk advisory practice, where I'll be doing part-time security consulting and part-time risk advisory consulting. And I never would have had this opportunity had it not been for UMass Boston.
Imagine what it will be like to interact with students from 150 countries.
You meet people from everywhere. That's the best thing about the school.
Here there's a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world.
We also have students here at UMass Boston who come to us from Texas, from Alabama, from Georgia, from California. And I often ask them, what brings you here? And it's always Boston. And then when they come here, they realize, UMass Boston.
I decided to come to UMass Boston from the West Coast because, look at it. We've got the ocean, it's beautiful. I'm getting a really great education at great value. I couldn't be happier to be here.
This is what the world looks like. It's here at UMass Boston.
And now, imagine doing all of this at a campus that is buzzing with more than 100 clubs and organizations, 18 NCAA athletic teams, and concerts and films galore. Whether you're interested in studying abroad or doing service work over alternative spring break, we have something for everyone.
Starting my first semester here, I was assistant coordinator of Casa Latina. Second semester, I was promoted to coordinate my own center, the Student Wellness Center.
Being on the track and field team here is the greatest decisions I've made besides coming to UMass Boston.
We are mere moments away from the start of sudden death overtime. The next player to score will bring with them a championship in the Codfish Bowl Invitational. The Beacons looking for their second ever in the 11 years this women's tournament has gone on. Their last championship during the 2013-14 season, which means no one on this roster has tasted Codfish championship. Of course, Rachel Mayette, the goalie who's been outstanding today, has won 3 opening rounders, but has never won this championship. On the other side, Endicott. They were in this tournament once. They won it none. They lost in the consolation round in 2016. So Seth, you look here, what are the keys for this overtime period?
Keep it simple. I think that's the biggest thing for UMass Boston. You have to get the puck out of the zone. You have to make smart passes in the neutral zone, and then you have to create traffic because Vandella Janssen has played so well this weekend. The other thing is you have to help out Rachel Mayette. Clear the pucks away. Don't let Endicott get second and third chances. For Endicott, use your speed, use your pace, use your fresher legs. You have to recognize at this point that the Beacons just don't have as much left in the tank, especially amongst the 5 women playing defense this weekend.
Bianchini's shot sticked into the glass. Behind the net, Morissette is there. Beacons won the opening face-off of overtime. It's 20 minutes. If nobody scores in 20 minutes, we'll have another intermission and another overtime period as the Beacons tried to keep that in. Fisher could not, as bearing down on her was Klein. It's sent all the way back in by Gallucci. 19 and a half to go. Carter back-handed it, a collision into the corner, no whistles. We would hope the referees would be judicious in the calls that they make. Don't want to call anything ticky-tack and hand something to somebody. And the players likewise have to be disciplined. This one whiffed on, and the Beacons get possession.
In my mind, you call what you call it in regulation, but if something's a little 50-50, maybe you think about it a little extra second. These referees haven't called much, just 4 penalties through the first 60 minutes. But if it's an egregious penalty, you have to call it. You can't just let these 2 teams play to a degree where nothing's going to be called.
Back at the point, this one dumped down towards Fisher. She lost it. and rather Peacock, as this one is taken in now by Fisher. She fists away the forward Klein. And back behind the net, Colucci. Ariel stretches this one to neutral ice. Beauregard lost it a bit, and it's taken away. Sent all the way into the corner for Farragher. And Megan will send it off the sideboards to the skate and then the stick of Meyer. Meyer back to Farragher. She's got her defensive line mate, Maeve Moynihan. And Moynihan back to Farragher, who lost it. Marin Brown with 18:20 to go. She sends it behind the net, a deflection in front, into the slot. Colucci's shot sails just wide on the near side post.
She had a little bit of daylight just past the right toe, couldn't quite find the net. Bree, though, a nice job of pinching forward in a safe position there, and the Beacons just missing off a broken play.
This one deflected towards the red line, taken in by Colucci. Backhanded for Erica Lund, who's had a couple of great chances today, but has been stonewalled. Is coming on in, a chance, and a great defensive play by Farragher, who knocks this one away from King, who was bearing down on the net.
Whew, what a defensive play there. All you need is a tiny poke, and it might beat the 5-hole.
There's a chance from Drill, blocked down, and to the far side as she clears it all the way down. No icing, as they'll say Drill did make contact there. And coming on over is Colucci. Beacons have Lund, and the stretch pass for Erica, who backhands it deep. Beacons getting a couple of fresh legs out there as the Gulls send it forward. That gets all the way down, but will Jetter be able to beat the forward? She cannot, no icing. Beating her down was McNamara, but a good job by Jetter of regrouping and clearing it all the way down. This is no icing, as chasing it down is number 25, Alexa Pritkelis. 17 minutes to go in the first overtime. That one shoots up into the air, and not seeing it was Janssen, but swatting it away smartly was number 24, Tennille Perry.
What a fluky deflection behind the net. It just tipped up. It was up there for a while and nearly ended up just inside the goal crease.
Surprised that wasn't a hand pass, but instead McNamara took it, and now it's turned over for Moritz. Moritz coming on into the attacking zone, 2-on-3. Moritz's shot saved with the glove of Vendela Janssen, and with 16:38 to go, a whistle and stoppage.
That's a good shot in overtime. A, anything can happen, and B, you force the offense's own draw. The Beacons, despite maybe being a little bit more weary, have shown a little bit more legs to start this overtime, coming out with great energy.
Drill shot, and that one made it through a couple of trees before being swatted away with the stick of Janssen. Interception by Fisher. She just sends it back towards Carter. Fisher will get there off the deflection off the stick of Meyer, and then to the zone goes Morissette, taking it away from the defender. That was number 13, Maggie Leo. Behind the net, coming on over Bianchini. Stick lift from Harris. Harris got there, fighting for it with Ellen Carter. To the point, unable to keep it in Fisher as it was partially deflected by Klein. Comes all the way in. This is trouble. They have Klein. Klein has Hughes. Right in front, looking for Hughes, and a good play by Drill to knock it down behind the net.
That was huge because Hughes had inside position out in front of the crease. Can't give Endicott those open looks.
Far side, a chance. Deflected and still in play. Behind the net. Emerging from it, Jane Ann Drill. Drill taking it up to the blue line and out as she breaks out of her own zone. Gets tumbled down and loses possession. Ooh, a chance for a backhander from Jade Meyer looking for Gibbs. Now behind the net, here's Gibbs. Has Meyer in front. Right backhand towards Meyer. Puck is still loose on the side of the net, but taken by Nolan. Nolan drops it behind. Jane Ann Drill's the only one home. Jane tries to clear it and cannot as it's kept in there, sent back behind the net by Farragher.
Beacons' two defensemen have been out there for a while. They need to get off the ice.
They can't clear there, but Nolan is the only one who sees the puck, and she does get it down. This will not be icing. Waved off as Farragher will get there. So the Beacons did get the new defenseman. That's Colucci out there, as well as Jetter. It's sent all the way down. This should be icing, and it will be. So a break there with 14:57 to go.
Scary moments. We saw a couple of nice plays from Jane Ann Drill, and then on the other side, Grace Fisher had to bail out Drill as the Beacons hold on for a couple more minutes.
14:57 to go here in overtime. Face-off one, back to the point, a shot. It's blocked down, still loose. Another try as that one got its way through to the far side to be backhanded around the end boards there by Klein. Moynihan will clear. Deflected. Jetter could not get there. Now coming back the other way is Jade Meyer. Meyer connecting with Gibbs, and that one deflected up into the screen off the shot by the sophomore Jillian Gibbs. 14:36 to go. Overtime here from Clark Athletic Center and Edward T. Berry Ice Rink, and a face-off to the left of Mayette. It'll be taken by Tennille Perry, and she'll go one-on-one with Nolan. Perry wins it to the corner. Fighting for it in the near side wall is Lustenring. A chance. Perry trying to center it for McNamara, could not. And now emerging is Beauregard, and Kaylee dumps it all the way down. No icing as she was over the red line. Peacock got there first, but really had no angle for a shot. Peacock coming all the way around. She thinks about shooting. Instead, she comes back to the blue line. Peacock dangles through, but then lost possession into the corner. Couple of players in front. That's Beauregard, who has it. Nolan shot saved. Rebound is loose, and the referee blows the whistle, and the puck was clearly not covered. But the Beacons will get an offensive zone faceoff.
Well, John, we can see that up there, but sometimes the referee's vision is obscured. I know what you're feeling there, but now you have to take advantage of the offensive zone draw. It's the third line out there. They've done a great job throughout tonight.
Fisher's blast, nothing on it, as that one is sent wide of the net. Third line out there is Erica Lund fighting for it, taken into the boards. Gets it to King. King, far side, chance from the blue line, a blast, and that one is saved there as Galucci was looking to win it. But with 13:48 to go, another save from Vendeli Hansen.
Yeah, Galucci probably not the defenseman you want taking that. She doesn't have the same kind of cannon that we see out of Jane Andriel, Brie Galucci, Katie Jetter, but she makes up with her defensive prowess.
Face off won by King, and Fisher can't keep it in off the pass from Brown. Grace back with Galucci, Marin Brown with King and Lund. From the near side, that one's dumped all the way down. Should be icing, and it will be, as getting there first is Galucci. So another break for the Beacons. Face-off coming all the way down.
Maybe Endicott's more tired than we thought, because Endicott's iced the puck quite a few times in this period. Maybe it's being overzealous, not quite sure, but you shouldn't see a team that has the leg advantage being content to just clear the puck down the ice this many times.
Moritz lost the face-off to Leo, but the Beacons able to keep it in here. Moritz seemed like she was fighting with Parent there for the puck, and instead emerging with it were the Gulls, but the Beacons applying a solid forecheck, and this one sent all the way down where Drill will be the only one there. Forechecking by Hughes as Moritz got clipped a little bit, but the Beacons keep possession, but unable to keep it in the zone, as Galucci's just going to have to dump it because it was a delayed offsides with Barry in the attacking zone. Moritz chasing after it. Carter gets there first, but Moritz is able to come away with it. Right in front, looking for Barry. A chance deflected in front as Galucci had a lane, but a good defensive effort, and I believe it was Farragher who got the piece of it.
Nah, it was Lexi Klein. That's a player stepping up. Your top line left winger making a huge impact on defense, getting the stick in. Galucci's had two great chances here in OT, just hasn't been able to score.
Face-off, Morissette taking on Walpole. Face-off won by Jane. Chance from the point, Galucci connecting there with Harris. Harris, a shot and a save. Rebound is loose still, and then taken in by Walpole, and Courtney sends it to the corner.
I don't understand how Janssen's making some of these saves. She hasn't seen the puck on a good amount of them and still able to get the body in front.
Jade Meyer coming in. Rachel Mayan hasn't faced a whole lot of trouble here in overtime. Walpole behind the net. Walpole to the point. Take it in there for Irby. Irby D to D from the blast, blocked down with the glove of the defender, and that's a hand pass as Galucci fisted it over to Harris.
Well, that's probably not the worst thing there because there was a couple of defensive zone breakdowns. Endicott had Jillian Gibbs wide open on the backside at one point. Jade Meyer had inside position in front of the net. The Beacons have to be cautious here as Endicott, I'm sure, will try to find Ellen Carter off the face-off.
Face-off one, back to the point. That one, not much on it, blocked down by Bianchini. Jetter lost it behind the net, Lustenring. Lustenring gets it picked off by Jetter. Nice saucer feed, a bad bounce off the stanchion, and almost bounced right to Michaela McNamara, but the Beacons and Ali Bianchini can clear it down and get some fresh legs.
Yeah, it almost bounced right to McNamara with Myatt anticipating the puck going the other way around the net.
Ooh, almost a bad move there as Galucci pinched in, but McNamara couldn't handle it. Now there's a blast from a tough angle by Tennille Perry. That one was blocked and wide as it's sent almost beyond the defense of Alexis Pritkellis, but it's kept in, and now Pritkellis is the only one there, along with Galucci, but she's not known for her offensive prowess being a defenseman, and Galucci beat her up and forced a bad shot.
Galucci has had an unbelievable game defensively. She's been left out to dry a couple times where it's one-on-one, two-on-one defensively, and has made the play every single time.
Megan Farragher sends it forward for Hughes. Caroline taken down a bit from behind. They say cleanly by Beauregard as kept in there by Jane Andrill. A shot, and that short side hit the post. Just outside the post there by the defenseman, Jane Andrill. Drill coming in, takes it again, deflection, and that one is wide. Off to the piece of it by Peacock. My goodness gracious, the Beacons are pressuring as this one is sent to the point. There with it is Fisher, a shot, a low line drive, bouncing around, still loose in front as that one trickles wide of the net. There's a chance, Fisher a shot, a great kick save and a beaut by Janssen as Fisher cannot keep it in, and Drill has to come on over to help out. Drill taken into the boards, no call.
That's where I question the lack of a call. It was pretty clear that Drill had a stick between her legs, taking her down, almost forcing a bad turnover.
Here's a shot from Lund. It's loose, sent over the net and wide as Janssen lost sight of it after the initial save. 10:22 to go. We're not yet halfway through this overtime. We've had enough excitement in this game for a whole season. Dumped all the way in by King, wrapping around, getting a couple of new fresh legs. Marin Brown out there. King, Lund, and Brown. At forward, Jeter and Colucci at the blue line. Lund looking for Colucci. She kept it in. Breeze shot, a save. Rebound is loose. And another save, and that one careens wide to the near side wall.
Sarah King's shot might have been blocked by her own teammate. There were that many players in front.
And they're going to blow a whistle here.
I think they're going to call Marin Brown there for goaltender interference. The goalie's stick was inside the far circle. The Beacons can't believe it, and this is the rare overtime penalty. UMass Boston's going to have to kill off a fourth today. Endicott came in at 25%, and you hate to see it, but...
Well, there was a loose stick. I don't know.
It was the goalie stick. That's the problem.
Yeah, I can't do that. And now McNamara going up against Morissette, 2-minute minor. Carter right in front, far side, and a chance there to connect with Gibbs, but Jillian couldn't settle it down. From the near side, back to the point for Carter. She's already got to go in front. Great save with the leg, kicking it out, Rachel Mayette.
That was so difficult. It took a deflection in front, changed the angle, and still Mayette able to kick it away.
McNamara behind the net. Far side, there's a shot, deflection in front as that one sails over the stick of Meyer.
UMass Boston has to identify the player on the backside. Endicott's trying to keep the Beacons' aggressiveness against them and open up a player right here.
Meyer right there, great save by Mayette, who hugs the post, the brick wall. Rachel Mayette, the native of Pittsburgh, might as well call her the steel wall.
No, remember,
I'm thinking of DePippo,
Alyssa DePippo. The native of Duxbury is doing a phenomenal job.
I already said that earlier.
It's prevalent right now. UMass Boston has to identify what Endicott's doing on the power play and lock down this backside. They're not going to try to take shots from distance.
From the point, sending it around, intercepted. Gallucci can't clear. Kept in the zone here, Walpole. Back to the point. There's a shot, saved by Mayette. Rebound is to the near side circle. And Caroline Hughes back to the point. Far side. Pretzelis got it over there to Hughes, and that one blocked down. 52 seconds to go on the minor penalty. Back to the point. Walpole tees it up. That's blocked down. Good play by Moritz. Deflection in front, still loose. Coming behind the net is Drill. She pokes it away from Hughes. And now back to the point. Pretzelis, far side. Carter, around the net it comes. Jane and Drill can't clear. Connecting with Walpole. Hughes, back to Pretzelis, down low to Hughes. Hughes, cross ice, Carter's got the shot. Glove down, and that one is loose. Barry will not clear. Beacons can't get it out. Carter, that one sails wide. 8:05 to go in the first overtime. That one sent towards the near side wall. Taken in behind the net and moved forward by Perry. 6 seconds to go in the minor penalty. One more clear is all the Beacons need.
Beacons aren't out of danger, though.
Oh, and getting tripped up there. No call was Perry behind the net. Now for Carter. Power play's over. Carter shot saved by Mayette. And a whistle, and the power play is over.
Huge for Rachel Mayette to hold on there. We're going to see 4 new skaters out there. Emily Harris came on after the penalty to Brown. Beacons will send their top line out there alongside Jeter and what looks like Bree Colucci.
That one is sent towards the near side of the goal. The face-off won by those Gulls. Behind the net. Ashley Jones. Colliding there and going down with Jones was Jetter. And now the Beacons emerge with it. Colucci hands it off to Morissette. 7:23 to go. Here's Jane coming in. 4-on-2 for the Beacons. In front, the save. The rebound is loose. A player taken into the net. Nothing happening from the whistles of these referees as it's sent now towards the near side glass.
It's going to be a penalty, John.
And
Bree Colucci was taken down. Bree Colucci was taken down. If we can get you that replay. Colucci was taken down. She would have had a chance to score there. Now, you're never going to give a penalty shot in that situation, but that's a great job driving the net, knowing there's going to be a rebound. And you see Colucci's the player. Well, you don't see it. We see it on the preview. Colucci's taken down as she had a chance. Bianchini had a chance as well. The Beacons only their second power play of the day, as we're actually going to have a chance to show that to you right now with the timeout. This is a great play, and it all starts with Jane Morissette. You see Colucci being buried there in the bottom of the pile. If we can bring that up one more time. It's a phenomenal drive by Morissette. She's not looking to score here. Harris has a chance. Bianchini swings and misses, and Colucci from the far side comes through. She's held there. UMass Boston needs to score right now. The longer this game goes, the more I think it favors Endicott. Now remember, we keep focusing on the fact the Beacons only have 5 defensemen. They won a tournament title in the NEHC with just 4 the final 3 weeks of the season. But Katie Jetter, Ariel Colucci were on that team. These other 3 defensemen aren't used to that kind of work. And right now, I think the biggest thing UMass Boston has to do on this power play is not be predictable. Continue to move the puck. If you get that obvious shot up top, maybe make an extra pass, get traffic in front of Janssen. At some point, one of these shots where she has no idea where the puck's going, it's going to end up in the back of the net. It can't happen every single time that she somehow makes the save.
Face off won by Moritz, and then she turns it over with a no-look backhanded feed. Coming back the other way is Gibbs, and then she gets tied up smartly there by Drill. No penalty, but this is all eating away at that 2-minute minor. And now that's a tough turnover as well. Harris almost gave it away in her own zone. Luckily, though, the Beacons' defense was back. And now here's Bianchini. The Beacons finally able to move forward with 1:34 to go in the minor penalty, but then Carter takes it away, and clearing this one will be Meyer.
Great back check by Jillian Gibbs to force that turnover in the Beacons' end.
Here's Drill into the attacking zone. 80 seconds left on the power play. Peacock behind the net. Peacock waiting, still waiting, comes to the near side dot, sends it far side, fresh off the bench, Bree Colucci. Her shot blocked down in front, rebound is loose. Morissette's shot is blocked down on a good play by Gibbs. Morissette another try, made it through 1, made it through 2, off of Carter's stick, off of Bianchini's stick, and then wide of the net. 1 minute to go on the power play. Peacock a shot, save, rebound Morissette blocked down, another chance for Beauregard, and somehow the Linköping Lightning, that is Vendela Janssen, has made another save with 46 seconds to go in the power play. Here's a chance, Beauregard from neutral ice, looking for Barry, can't hit it. Nolan will clear, or see the defender clear this one down, as Myatt settles it down and hands off to Colucci. 30 seconds left on the power play, 5:40 in the first overtime. Beauregard peels off, sends it far side, hits Peacock. Peacock over the line towards the corner boards, runs into the ref, and then he holds his hands up as if he couldn't have gotten out of the way. Meanwhile, at the point, Colucci waiting, collision in front, and Colucci was trying to pick the short side corner but could not, and that one is out of the zone, in fact, out of play, as she almost hit Alex Garlis, the assistant coach, with that one. 5 seconds left on the power play and a neutral ice faceoff.
John, the Beacons have looked so good on the power play today, and I love what they're doing. Ali Bianchini, it doesn't matter how small you are in front if you're putting enough pressure in front of the goalie's eyes, and Jane Morissette just darting back and forth, creating some pressure as well. The Beacons had quite a few chances there, and now 5 minutes to go. You have to be extra careful in these last 5 minutes, knowing that you're going to be even more tired than you were to start this overtime session.
Both teams have had one power play in this overtime. Both teams 0 for 1 in this overtime, as it's taken now by Lund. Gets the breakout feed from Gallucci. Lund loses possession. That's offsides on UMass Boston. 4:45 to go in the first overtime, folks. If we don't see a goal, we will wait around another intermission and keep going until we do. These two teams have played now the equivalent of 7 periods almost in the last about 28, 29 hours.
Well, that's the benefit of being a college student versus someone who's a little bit older who would be hurting a lot more after this.
Caroline Hughes sends it far side. One-touch feed, looking to connect there with Mayo, but unable to get it to her. Fighting for it, Hughes, along with Mayo and Klein. And this is back to the point for Farragher. Screen in front, down low, and then whiffing on it as she fell down on some choppy ice was Lexi Klein. This ice has seen a lot of hockey in the last 24 hours. As this one is in the corner now for Klein. Backhanded away from UMass Boston, and now it's taken away yet again by Hughes.
Yeah, King just was a little bit slow there, expecting the puck to come to her, and it allowed Endicott to force the turnover.
Marin Brown, Johnny on the spot there. She's able to get it out of the zone. Unable to connect with Lund. And some of these Endicott fans wanted to whistle on Lund, but instead now here's a chance for King, and they will say that Lund was offsides as she was trying to change up lines.
John, that should have been a penalty on Lund. She two-hand slashed a player. She was going after the puck, didn't recognize the player was there, and that one was right to the midsection. The Beacons very fortunate on that particular occasion.
Face-off one back to Carter by Walpole, as with 3:38 to go in overtime. Carter turns it over. Nice play by the duo of Bianchini and Harris, and then Harris falls down as Carter slides into her in a prone position. 3.5 minutes to go. Fisher dumps it back around. Chasing this one down and getting there is Callie Chase, appropriately so, as Morissette takes this one away from number 19, Jade Meyer. Behind the net, Bianchini connects with Harris. Harris just tried to backhand it, I think, towards the front of the net, could not get it anywhere. And Bianchini just lies down on the ice trying to knock the puck down, and actually worked.
It was effective.
Yeah, Harris lost it, and this is going to be cleared down, and the puck's going to have a knife juice, but can Fisher beat the man? She can't. Icing waved off, as beating Fisher down there was Jade Meyer. Colucci backhander, no one was home though, which keeps it in, but great for the Beacons as Meyer needed to get on the bench. They can't clear though, as Fisher can't get it out. Morissette pokes it to Fisher, not out. Stuck down at the point. Farragher's shot blocked down, and the Beacons now have it, and they have numbers. At least they did, as this one misses the mark, and that's icing on UMass Boston.
I think instead of seeing the tired legs that I expected, we've seen maybe a little bit of tired arms. That's where the fatigue is showing. A couple times, Fisher and Gallucci and even Jane Andrill at points have tried to clear the zone. Those are the players who are logging the most minutes, those defensemen, and they just haven't had enough behind some of those passes.
Face-off won by Morissette. Colucci sends it around. McNamara behind the net. Cut off there by Morissette. Right in front as that one was sticked away, and right to the stick of number 24, Perry. But luckily for the Beacons, Tennille never got a shot away. Behind the net now, that's McNamara. McNamara has Perry in front. Good poke check by Barry. As that one's sitting on a tee, but getting her stick hooked a little bit there was Perry. There's a shot in front, still loose, and the Beacons will emerge with it as Fisher will use the boards to hit Leffler, the Key Largo native. Spins around right in front. It's looking for Barry. Instead it kips to Moritz. What a save made by the netminder Janssen on a shot from point-blank range from Edie Moritz.
Great job by Janssen coming out to cut down on the angle. That was the difference on that play. She recognized Moritz was all alone.
90 seconds left in overtime, as this is icing on Endicott. So a break for the Beacons with 89 seconds to go, minute 29. We get some fresh legs out there. And it is going to be the second line.
Interesting decision. This second line has generated some chances, maybe not as much as the first.
Beauregard snapshot off the face-off win by Nolan was blocked down at the circle. Backhanded by McNamara as she sees the defender turn it over. Taken in by Nolan. That was Farragher who turned it over, but Nolan tried to go back to the point, all for naught. Here's McNamara. She's out there with Perry and Lustenring. 65 seconds to go in the first overtime. Drill. Nobody home on the far side looking for Peacock, and instead it's taken by Farragher. Beacons aggressive forecheck, but Carter was behind, and then two Beacons go down. They have to hurry back as Gallucci's going to gamble, try to get there. She does a good job of taking that one away, but it turns it right over, right in front, and the only person there was the forward, and they score! Maggie Leo has won it for the Endicott Gulls, as with 40.7 to go in overtime, number 13 in green delivers for the Gulls as they fly to their first ever Codfish Bowl championship here in 2017.
Well, that's a tough one. Ariel Galucci pinched. She did a good job of getting to the puck, but was unable to clear the zone. And then from the far side should be Lexi Klein, who sent a soft shot towards goal, but the tip just enough to beat Mayette. As UMass Boston, you mentioned it had two players down on the far side, slow to get back. It was Peacock who was trying to jump the stick of a player, ended up knocking down the Endicott player and her own teammate. UMass Boston falls just short again, their third overtime loss here in the Codfish Bowl title game. UMass Boston, just for some reason on both the women's and the men's side, they're a little bit snake-bitten in these tournaments. They haven't won on either side since 2014. They certainly had their chances to win this one. I think that if either side had won today, it would have been well-deserved. Endicott had more shots, but not necessarily more grade A chances, and it was just a phenomenal show by both of these teams, especially Rachel Maya and those 5 defensemen.
Yeah, you said it. Rachel now continues to be winless in championship games. Is that now?
Well, Codfish Bowl championship
Codfish
games.
Bowl, I mean,
certainly was one of the MVPs of that NEHC title run 2 years ago.
Codfish Bowl championships, I correct myself. And she deserved it, though. I mean, she certainly deserved it. Vendela Janssen was just a little bit better today, as the final score, the Endicott Gulls 2, the UMass Boston Beacons 1. We're going to go to commercial break, and we will bring you the post-game show after this, Seth, as what has been a outstanding tournament by all is won by Endicott. This is the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, then I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
Back here at the Edward T. Barry Ice Rink, as they're going to give the Catherine Wall Award first. Catherine Wall, of course, a UMass Boston alumni who passed away from breast cancer 3 years ago, and Wall was a 3-athlete member, and the award's going to be given to Katie Barry for just how hard she has worked throughout her career. It always goes to a senior, typically a UMass Boston player, and Barry certainly had one of the better tournaments of any player. She was just phenomenal. The only goal for UMass Boston today, scored a goal as well yesterday.
Yeah, and very well deserved for Barry. And now Vendela Janssen is going to be crowned, as she certainly deserves. Is this the MVP that they're giving out now?
And what a tournament that Janssen had. Just so good. A goal yesterday. And really, she faced a lot of pressure even against Stevenson, a team that was winless before today's win against Wesleyan University. Janssen made some huge saves today, especially on the penalty kill when UMass Boston looked its most threatening. I mean, there's going to be some saves on the highlights tonight that we'll have for you on beaconsathletics.com. She made some saves where there is zero chance that she saw the shot, and that happened with Rachel Myatt as well, but just so impressive for the Swedish native.
Yeah, and this Endicott team still undefeated, Seth, through this tournament, and the Beacons gave them probably the best scare they've seen all season, but this is a team that you'd see after watching them, there's a reason. They have that top 1A defenseman in Carter. They have maybe the best goalie the Beacons have seen all year, and Janssen, and they have a well-rounded offense led by that top line, Leo, who scored the game winner. It's hard to argue that Endicott is a team to be reckoned with, and they proved it today with a overtime victory over UMass Boston.
John, we're going to take one last commercial break, and then we're going to close it out here. We won't have a post-game interview, so we'll go through the final stats. We'll show you the highlights, including the goal in overtime, and then we'll close it out. Give a huge shout-out to our production crew who got here at just about noon and have been working hard for the past 7 hours to produce a pair of hockey games, 6 home games this weekend. Most of our student workers have been there for every single one. Really appreciate their hard work.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations.
Welcome back into the post-game show. John Scudris along with Seth Orensky. Beacons losing 2-1 in overtime against Endicott as the Gulls win the 2017-18 Codfish Bowl title. So the Beacons fall short of that elusive goal of getting that title, and of course, right as the post-game show gets moving, we lose the graphics. So
if we're going to lose the graphics at any point during a 7-hour day, at least it's after the final game is ended.
Yeah, nonetheless, the final graphics would have been brought to you by Mutual Beef Company. Are you hosting a tailgate or barbecue? Head on down to Mutual Beef Company's Butcher's Shop in Roxbury for the finest available meats. They paid for the sponsorship, might as well still give it to them. We'll let you know who the 3 stars of the game are, Seth. Although I'm sure if you want to audibly give the stats first, well, they'd love that as well.
I can give you the stats. The Beacons closed the shooting totals. It was 15-7 in overtime in favor of UMass Boston. That's how well they played. A ton of energy there. Ended up being outshot 46-39. Faceoffs 38-26 in favor of the Beacons. UMass Boston 0 for 2 in the power play. Endicott 0 for 4. No power play goals on the night. In terms of our 3 stars, well, it was pretty easy. You knew the goalies were going to be up there. Rachel Myatt was actually our #1 star despite taking the loss. Myatt made 44 saves on 46 shots in the loss. It's her 3rd loss of the season, and she's made 40-plus saves in every single game. On the other side, Vendela Janssen, the tournament MVP, 38 saves on 39 shots. She was just phenomenal. She moves to 6-0-1, and then the game-winning goal coming from Maggie Leo. Game-winning goal typically ends up with a star, so congratulations to her. The one thing we didn't lose is we'll take a look at the highlights, including that crushing final goal, as it wasn't the hardest of shots, and sometimes that's the difference, as it was able to tip past. Here's the early look from Bree Colucci, broken up off the stick. Colucci with another good look, just wide. Colucci was so good all weekend. A slew of bodies in front of Janssen. Here's a look on the power play. That was probably the 2nd best save that Myatt made. Another reflex save. This is during that same power play for Endicott. Unfortunately for the Beacons, that was a lefty player on the near side as she couldn't quite handle the backhand. Here's Peacock rifling one in. The rebound falls to Morissette, but a great diving play from the Gulls. So we continue along in the down to the final 2 minutes in regulation as this puck falls to Moritz, and Janssen's well out of her crease there to break it down. And here you see from the far side, just chipping it towards net, a deflection from about 2 feet outside, and that was the game-winning goal with 47 seconds left in overtime. The teams played over 79 minutes, and in the end, that was the difference. Right now, we'll have to give a shout-out to our production crew. Worked so hard, came back early from their Thanksgiving break, and worked both games today. My name is Seth Dorensky, joined by John Skudras on the call, Anthony Searles, Gigi Braga, and Charlie Hughey directing and doing instant replay, Kyle Penny, Cassie Murphy, and Alex Gibbs on camera. And that'll do it for us here from Beaconville. UMass Boston falls 2-1 in the 11th annual Codfish Bowl title game.